out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apt.5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
It's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing.
What's good? You are tuning to Apt.5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad in effect with me today. Little sis Porsche, what's going on?
Not a whole lot, Kill. So glad to be here and love this topic. So I'm excited.
I see that 5 mic piece of vinyl behind you right there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's probably my second favorite album in hip hop, and it may be my first. It goes back and forth, but we're gonna talk about that tonight. Vern, after ATL, what's going on, good brother?
What's going on, good people? Man, glad to be here. Glad to rock with my fam. Been some busy, long weeks and all that stuff. Economy's changing, but it's all good, man. Glad to be here.
I see another 5 mic album on that wall there. That could be my favorite hip hop album that we gonna talk about right there.
Yes, sir.
DJ Rec 1, what's going on, good brother?
Trying to stay warm, man. We got a blizzard and summer weather all in the same damn day, man. So ain't no telling, bro. It's crazy out here in these streets, man. As long as I got the yellow on me and I got my good people, I'm cool.
I see that Eagles football helmet in your background. I'm seeing a lot of dope things in people's backgrounds today, man. I'm seeing a lot of dope things. My brother Rel out of Philadelphia. What's going on, good brother?
It's good, man. Happy to be here, as always.
Hey, I see that low right there, brother, in the 76ers hat. So it's all good in effect. JR, the R&B guru. What's going on? I don't see the red cup. Where are we going?
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. I was about to say. Come on, bro.
Yo, I had a tough one at work today, so I need it.
All right. About to say, man, I don't see a red cup, so.
It's impossible. It ain't the real one.
I don't see a red cup. Ain't something ain't right. All right, we gonna get right into it. Oh, before I do that, I gotta shout out my man Jamal Gasol, his new clothing line. Yeah, I mean, definitely a dope hoodie, definitely good qualities, the 3D print on it and everything like that. He's got his new album that's gonna be out by the time y'all see this on Monday. Kansas City Smack Man Part 2 is all gonna be out. He's got 7-inch vinyl, all kinds of exclusive stuff. So check his stuff out, JamalGasol.com. That's my cousin right there. That's my brother, Niagara Falls' finest in the game. But yo, this is what we're gonna be chopping up about this week. We are chopping it about what I think. I don't know. Is it? Maybe we'll get to it this week about is it not? Is 1988 the greatest year for hip hop? I think it is. But one of the many things that I've learned about this show and being around other smart, dope individuals is y'all changed my mind a lot on this show. So the mind may get changed, may not, I don't know. But right now, 88 is probably my favorite year of hip hop.
And R&B.
And R&B. We're gonna see about the R&B tip with this 1 year. Complex had done something. Nika, my homegirl, was on here with us a couple weeks ago, sent me this Complex article. I had seen it before, but they were like doing, I think they did like the Dopest MC for every year, producer, whatever like that. So I'm kind of tagging onto that, but I wanted to make this more of an educational piece because, again, I'm totally nothing but blessed that young folk follow me, young folk follow the show. I really started this show just for us old heads, but it's a blessing that young folk follow us. But at the same token, I also want to educate. So this is going to be, because I always see it all the time from the young people. Yo, 2015 was hip-hop's dopest year. And I'm like, 2015? My nigga, really? Like, the dopest year? But I get it. They're young. You know what I mean? But I'm like, or they'll be like, look, OG, I can't mess with them 80 acts. I mean, I know, respect, but they was kind of corny. And I'm like, corny? Like, word? So, again, I try to understand it from their perspective from working with teens. So, this is going to be all about 88, your dopest MC of the year. The dopest album of that year, the dopest hip-hop group of that year, the dopest hip-hop producer that year. And then we always want to send y'all home with some homework. The 3 dope albums that maybe people don't talk about, maybe people do talk about them, but these would be the 3 albums that each one of us will be sending your way to say, this is your homework, go home and listen to these albums. We're gonna be doing it on the R&B tip too, if people have them. You know what I mean? That's why we got the R&B guru JR right here for that too. So let's get started. Porsche, what's good? Let's start with albums. What do you think is the dopest album from 1988? And then what would your favorite album be from 1988, if they're not one and the same?
Okay, so thank God you said that, because I have had like a stress ulcer all day about this, because literally Kill said pick one and I have like literally 5 per category. So the dopest album, first of all, 1988 is the best year in hip hop in my opinion. I have to say that for a lot of reasons. I think it was just the impact and of the albums that came out, the caliber of albums that came out, the capture of the soundscape at the time, all of that. So and then so with that said, the dopest album of that year to me is It Takes a Nation of Millions, to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy. And I say this all the time, I feel like a broken record, so I won't go into it too much, but that is probably the most important album in hip-hop of all time, period. Like ever, full stop, without a doubt. And the reason for that is the content, the subject matter it addressed, the way that they addressed it. All of the sort of, again, the soundscape. I feel like Public Enemy was like a pillar in that sound as well, and they just, with this album, it's an overall perfect time capsule of what was going on at the time in the communities, and they were reflecting that in the music, and it was just such a perfect way that hip-hop was able to do that. So yeah, It Takes a Nation.
All right, It Takes a Nation. I will echo that. I definitely, to me, this is the dopest album from 1988. Everything Portia just said, when people say Omatic is the greatest hip-hop album ever, that's cool with y'all. This right here to me is the most important hip-hop album ever. To me, the production from the Bomb Squad, incredible. All the great songs that led up to this. I always talk about how in the 80s you came up in the 12-inch, so of course you heard Rebel Without a Pause first. You heard Bring the Noise. You heard, what was I doing on here? Don't Believe the Hype. You know what I mean? But then there was still so many incredible songs once you get to the album. Cold Lamper with Flav, when Flav would have his solo joints. Terminator X to the Edge of Panic with the Flash Gordon sample. I mean, you got Louder Than a Bomb, Caught, Can We Get a Witness? One of my favorite, probably, we talked about hip-hop interludes, and I don't think I named this one, but Show 'Em What You Got. I love that joint. That's one of my favorite interludes. I mean, the drums, I think Lenny Kravitz jacked them drums for the Madonna Justify My Love joint, and I think Chuck ended up sending Madonna over all that reply. Night of Living Bassheads, Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos.
Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, that Isaac Hayes piano loop. I mean, just insanity, the message behind this. I always tell people, Stag Selector said it once. He said, if hip-hop didn't save your life, you don't love it as much as I do. And that's true to form about how I feel like a lot of young folk, not saying hip-hop didn't save your life. I mean, maybe it did. But I know for me, and I always tell Chuck when I'm on the timeline with him, what always trips me out that we can tweet at each other, which is incredible to me. But I always tell him, like, yo, I didn't sell crack because of this album, because of Chuck D, because it was like, I can't love hip hop and still sell crack. I can't play Night Living Bassheads and still go out here and sell drugs. And I guarantee you, if I would have sold drugs, I'm not sitting here with you right now. I'm not saying I'm not alive, but I do know that my future would have been shifted. I don't go to Morgan. I don't meet T. I don't have Nay. Maybe I don't get on the radio. Maybe this whole podcast game isn't in it for me. So literally, when you look at how the dominoes could have shifted in my life, and I owe it, so much of it, to this album. Mom, if you're watching, you played a part too, but I ain't gonna hold you. You know, mama's love always don't stop you from doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? It's mama's prayers that keep you from getting killed or in jail. But so no disrespect, Mom, but it was my mom and my upbringing. Plus, this was like the icing on the cake that said, I can't go that route. So definitely this album for me. Vern, what do you have as the number one album in the Dopest album from 1988?
So to break up the redundancy, I mean, you see what's on my wall, so you know what I feel about it. But I'm gonna break up and I'm gonna go Strictly Business, EPMD. I mean, come on, man. I was gonna go PE, but Strictly Business. I'm housing. Let the funk flow. You got to chill. It's my thing. You're a customer, Jane, bro. That's my 11th grade. Lord, man, so many memories tied to that album. That album, and somebody decided to say who their favorite group was this week, or was it last week on Twitter? And it was
something stupid.
Yeah, it was a good pick. But
okay.
It's like, okay, yeah, Mob, but nigga, don't act like Kaz and EPMD. And somebody said, well, does EPMD have anything like Shook One? I'm like, nigga, the whole first album. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You know what the problem is, Vern? I think it's a pet peeve of mine, and it's only because I'm a stickler. I'm a writer, so I'm real big on words. If you want to say Mobb Deep is your favorite group, that's cool. I got no knock with that. Yes. But when you say like Mobb Deep is the dopest duo ever, number one, that just makes me. I'm like, okay, you're under 40. You're probably under 42. You may be creeping into the 30s. You know what I mean? With that mindset, and let people understand that I'm not, because I know everybody's so fucking sensitive right now. I'm not dissing anybody young. I'm not dissing the youth. I'm not saying that, because you only know what you know to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So I'm not dissing anybody who's saying Mobb Deep is an excellent choice. If that's your favorite group, I got no problem with that. But to me, when you say things like, does EPMD have a Shook One? That lets me know you weren't outside. You weren't outside when You Gots to Chill came out. You know what I mean? You weren't outside when Strictly Business, the video came out. Dude in the beginning at the talent show was like EPMD, EP, and they couldn't even. Y'all wasn't outside. Y'all wasn't outside when you was a customer. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Everybody want to talk about Ain't No Nigga with Foxy. We ain't talking about that's EPMD first and foremost. You know what I mean? Before that, so when people say things like that, it just shows me, and again, people take this word the wrong way, but it's not ignorance, it's just not knowing. It's just the ignorance that you really don't know EPMD had Shook Ones and then some. You know what I mean? If you really talk about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Strictly Business. Cop that if you don't have it.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, and I only admit this because I'm older now. If you can see on this album cover, you can kind of see, of course, now I know they were in the studio. I thought this was a video game. I thought they was in the arcade. I thought that was Frogger on the damn computer. You know what I mean? Which sounds stupid now, but again, you got to remember, when this came out, I'm 12 years old. So I have no idea what a studio, you know what I mean, like this looks like. The jazz studios I was going with my mom's didn't have all this in it. You know what I mean? So I thought it was a video game, so hilarious. Rel, what is your number one album from 1988?
So I'm gonna be my answer gonna be different, because I got the album that I probably think is the dopest album, and then my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Because in '88 I was like 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like the dopest album, like now that I'm grown, is It Takes a Nation. You know what I'm saying? But that might have been a little too heavy for me at 7.
At 6 years, right. I got a letter from the government. Hit different. When you were 6 years old. You know what I mean?
So now that I'm a student of the game, you know what I'm saying, I'm older, I can appreciate the importance of Public Enemy and NWA, who are more similar than they are unlike each other. You know what I'm saying? They have more in common than you think. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was that time why '88 is the best, is like that stuff was like important to the framework of hip hop even today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't have certain people as my favorite and disregard some of the people that influenced them. You know what I'm saying? So But my favorite is Great Adventures of Slick Rick. You know what I'm saying? Even as a child, I was able to relate to it. You know what I'm saying? And do
tell.
But treat him like a pop.
Right, do tell, man.
All right, so
do tell, like, damn, nigga, you like, yo, 911 bass heads was over my head, but treat it like a hoe? Oh no, that shit was right up my alley at 6. I was pimping these little first grade hoes, man. I had them out here on the strip, nigga. Old Guys Avenue was my shit.
Not that song, but he had children's, he had stuff that was a little easier to digest, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, and like
Bro had them 6th grade hoes. I mean, them 6-year-olds on the block. Like, nigga, what my money at? What you mean you got addition to do? What the fuck, man? We gotta get this money. You out here doing math, nigga. Put that book down.
Treated Like a Prostitute wasn't one of my favorite songs, by the way.
Put that book down. Fuck wrong with you? What you gonna go to school for?
Those are some of the first videos I ever got to watch. Like I saw the Children's Story John, the Teenage Love video. You know what I'm saying? So, and and then as I got older and listened to it, like that's an amazing album. You know what I'm saying? So that's like probably my Hey Young World. You know what I'm saying? That's like my favorite album from there. But I think as far as importance and impact, It Takes a Nation will probably be that. But the Great Adventures of Slick Rick is probably my favorite.
Yo, the funny thing about when you talk about their videos, that Teenage Love video was so dope to me because Kane was in it. You know what I mean? With the MCM trench coat on, you know what I mean? And then Rick caught him on the train, and he wasn't too hard not to be like, you know what I mean, on his joint like that. Like, you know what I mean? Because somebody nowadays would have been like, I ain't gonna be in no video acting like you about to pump me, you know what I mean? But like, it wasn't even like that. It was like, yo, dog, I want you in the video, I want you to play this role, and it was all love. So Slick Rick. I think so many of the albums we're naming are 5 mic classics, and we're gonna talk about why they're 5 mic classics in a minute. Rap, what you got for your joints, man?
So I got a couple caveats. I may be long-winded, forgive me. Slick Rick, Great Adventures. I gotta tell you a story. So my parents divorced before '88. My father had me for the summer. My father's from Brooklyn, straight Jamaican, by way of England. That is his favorite fucking album. We drove from pretty much Savannah, Georgia, to Brooklyn, New York, one tape. Great Adventures of Slick Rick. And my father, to this day, my father's 66, 67. When I go to San Antonio, me and him, we go for a ride, go to the store. I make sure I pop that shit in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our thing.
Yeah, man.
I was 10 years old, and my pop looked over, he was like, "Don't tell your moms." And we hopped on the highway, and we rode 900 miles to Brooklyn, banging one fucking tape. So, like Kill said earlier, like, people will say certain years are, their year. Understand, the stuff that we're gonna name today, this is culture defining material. It's a lot. So please understand that. Like our parents listen to this shit. That should tell you something. Now let me get to my shit. Dopest album. I'm trying to throw monkey wrenches in just because it's so much shit, but I don't know if I can based on the material. So this is what I'll do. For me, I'm gonna go with, for Dopest album, I'm going with Long Live the King.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna say that only because my uncle, who drove at the time, he was NYPD, so he was in the streets. The shit that you hear about in '88, my uncle was in those streets on the police side, so he knew what the fuck was going on. He banged that damn tape until I don't fucking know. Like, every time I got in his car, he was playing Kane. To this day, my uncle, he still talk about Kane. Nigga been retired 15 years. We still talk about Kane. Kane had a lasting impression on that age group and that time span. He was just that dude. Like Kill said, my man pulled up with the trench leather, you know what I mean? Not afraid to be, whatever you want to call it in that video. That's a beautiful time. As far as my favorite album, I gotta say Strictly Business. I'm sorry. I remember being 9-10 years old, sitting on top of my grandmother's table doing this. And here I am 30 years later as a DJ. You know what I'm saying? So it's full circle type shit like that. And that's why I said that earlier. Like, this time span for a lot of us is what cultivated who and what we are today. Kill said it, like, if he didn't hear that album, you don't know where he would be. And that speaks a lot, man. Like, our parents, we got good people as parents, but when the music is feeding into you and it does that to you, bro, you can't do nothing but salute that. I've had the pleasure to meet Chuck D, man. I met him in '93 at a basketball tournament out in Staten Island. Kill, I'm gonna tell you, you know, when they tell you meet your heroes, you fucked up behind it, right? Nah, bro, that's a real dude. That's a real dude. He poured into us, loved on us at 15, 16 years old. We was in a talent show rapping, couldn't rap for shit, but he still gave us his card. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit that I don't know if this generation will see. I don't know if this generation's rappers, musicians will be of that stature to where when you meet them, it's truly like meeting a fucking superhero.
Man, listen,
we couldn't believe it. We was like, holy shit, that's Chuck D. And our coach is like, yeah, he right there. Go holler at him. Like, that's my man. And the dude, I mean, straight up chill. He may not even remember this, but I will never forget that time. I will never forget that day.
Bro,
Fuck the game. I don't even remember if we won the game or not. Fuck the game. I met Chuck D.
Right. I was grown at Gladys Night Chicken and Waffles. And Griff was in there. And we chopped. Griff, come on, man. S1Ws. So, yeah, superheroes, for real.
Straight up.
Yeah, no doubt. I got a lot to say about that. But, JR, what you got for your Oh, I didn't even do R&B, so we gotta go back around if you got R&B. So, JR, what you got for your number one hip hop and R&B? You can do
that's
both.
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna start with R&B. My favorite is gonna be God. That from beginning to end, that man. God, I just remember my mom and dad playing that joint. That was an album that they didn't mind both playing. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like my dad was not that R&B guy, so it was like him playing that. It was just like just seeing him rock to it. It was like, oh, all right, okay. You know what I mean? Especially somebody like Aaron that's very extra, and my dad ain't with that shit. and he's singing along with him. It was just like, oh, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, Guy and Rel took mine. My favorite hip hop is The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. That's the album that made me fall in love with hip hop. So I will never forget when my dad actually brought that home, and he always told this story. That's when he was like, he knew he had me as far as hip hop, because he was like, he brought it home. He was going to my aunt's house, and me and him was wearing this white like sweatsuit with Tim. And we sitting in the car, and as soon as the Moment I Feared came on, he just saw me doing this. And he was like, okay. And then from there, it was just like, that's when my questions started to ask.
Now, how old were you in '88?
I knew you were going to ask this, too.
God. Good Lord. Man, y'all, golly. Hey, I wanted to say this because Rec now JR brought this up. This didn't come out in '88, but Houdini was my dad's group. And man, when I was in high school, he used to bump that I'm a hoe, you know I'm a hoe, and Fugitive. So like when
you know, because I told you so. Man. I mean, yo, hip hop was so simple. I'm a hoe. How do you know, nigga? I told you so. That's how the fuck you know I'm a hoe, because I told you.
And when Ecstasy died, I called my pops because he didn't know. And bruh, we just started spitting Fugitive because that was his favorite song. And like when I went to go visit him for his birthday, we in his Cadillac, put that CD in, man. We just bumping, man. So that's dope how hip hop brings generations together.
Yeah.
I just want to make a note that although JR was 2 in '88, he was also very much alive and grown in like the '70s. So
Right.
I just have to put that out there. Okay, he's like the Nate
Right.
Dogg of R&B. Like he's everywhere all the time. Like, if that makes sense. Nate Dogg is an R&B artist. He's a rapper. He's all of it. JR is 2 in '88, but he was also like fully grown in the '70s.
Oh my God.
Make it make sense.
Man, I was 16 years old at 88. Good lord, y'all.
I was 14. But here's the one thing that I want people to really grasp on is that in everybody's story about music from this era, we're talking about we remember where we were. You know what I mean? Like these things left footprints, you know, in our lives. You know what I mean? And I also think it was because this is where hip hop, this is before anybody knew what to tell you to rap about. You know, that there's also this level of innocence in hip hop right now because there's no label telling you rap about this or they sold this many records, so rap about that. And then when we do 89, we're gonna see a whole nother 89 and 90, the whole world changes. But right now, you're still at a level of innocence. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that when I was 10 and 84, I got my 2 turntables. I'm in 4th grade, but most people are still playing with G.I. Joe, Transformers. It's a level of innocence there. My 4th graders now, they giving head, doing finger jobs, doing all kinds of wild shit. You know what I mean? So that innocence is gone. You know, that's not there. And I feel the same way about hip hop. This year, 88, and prior, there was this innocence of just, what do you want to rhyme about, Vern? Yo, let's rhyme about it. Like, what kind of beat you want, Porsche? Let's just make it. It wasn't, no, we got to sound like them, or we got to make a song like this, or we got to do. It was just a level of innocence of just like, yo, I just want to write a rhyme. And like, yo, if it's dope, it's dope. And let's record it. Let's put it out. So it's a level of innocence that's here also. But what you going to say, Ralph?
And the crazy thing is about like with hip hop, like how different the years are. Like it's not that long year wise, but the change in hip hop, like 88 to 90 is like, think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like how different. Another year that people like call one of the golden years, like 94. Look at 94 and look at 88 and listen how different hip hop is and how things change. You know what I'm saying? I just found that kind of crazy, like how, you know what I mean, that short amount of time, but things change so much. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I mean, I think again, just to talk about PE just for another minute, is just I think it's the importance of everything Chuck was saying. Because people always want, because it was some boy on the timeline who was saying something about Chuck D, some stupidness or whatever like that. And then come to find out he was a battle rapper. Somebody posted his battle, he was horrible. But he was saying some dumb shit like, y'all keep capping for Chuck, I'm gonna make a record to diss him. And I'm like, yo, nigga, like, what are you, 8 months? Like, who would even have the stupidity to even say out their mouth, I'm gonna write a diss song about Chuck D?
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that again, like who's gonna say that? But the thing that I want people to understand about this album is that one, nothing else sounded like the Bomb Squad. You know what I mean? I know in 2022, a loud kettle going off don't sound like nothing, but yo, when we heard Rebel Without a Pause, man, that was the craziest thing we heard. Then when you heard Bring the Noise, and when you heard Don't Believe the Hype and Terminator X to the Edge of Panic, like nobody was making music like them. Nobody was making beats like them. You know what I mean? Nobody, and I understand how some people at 22 in 2022 look at Chuck D and they're like, yo, he really wasn't nice. And I'm like, Chuck may have not been nice in the form of a Kane or a battle rapper, or I'm spitting 100 million words per minute. You know what I mean? But he was nice because not only just what he was saying, but his voice commanded you. Like, you know what I mean? Again, welcome to the Terror Dome. When people be like, well, do they got a Shook Ones? Nigga, do you have a welcome to the Terror Dome?
What?
Bro,
you see what I'm saying? But that's what I mean. But that's what these kids need to understand. Do you need a welcome to the fucking Shook Ones? You know what I mean? If you think Shook Ones move the world, nigga, welcome to the Terror Dome?
We used to come out to that shit, and we was gonna break your ass off by 40 that night.
Bro, welcome to the Terror Dome.
I just wanted to add, like, even though people can say that Chuck wasn't nice like that. Again, Kill, just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, it's not like, you have to understand that in '88, like, Chuck D was speaking in a way that was a mirror reflection of what was going on. Like, if you go back and look at what the situation was in the United States, and I never lived in the United States, but I know from, you know, just educating myself and kind of hearing about it, was that in '88 is when the crack epidemic boomed in all major cities in the US. That was '88 that happened. And it got astronomically large.
We could back a couple of years too. We could back. Crack really killed in '84 starting, but
it started, but it boomed to a point of like headlining major cities in the US in '88. So when you think about what Chuck D was saying and what he was kind of, you know, talking about content-wise, that's what makes Chuck nice. It's that it was relatable, it was reflective, it was impactful, it was not being done by anybody else at all. You know what I mean?
And here's,
nobody else
and here's the piece. Porsche, and what I love about this is that's one piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? That made Chuck nice. Another piece of the puzzle was, for people nowadays, y'all don't get it because everybody sounds alike. The great part about '88 was you could be different. It was dope that Chuck didn't sound like Kane.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was dope that Kane didn't sound like Salt and Pepper. It was dope that Salt and Pepper were girls, but they didn't sound like MC Lyte. So each person could have their own voice. Each person could have their own style. And please, anybody who is 45, I'm about to be 48. Anybody who's at least 46 or older, well, nobody at that time was saying, "Yo, Chuck D ain't nice." I've never had a conversation in my life talking hip hop where people were like, I mean, Chuck's cool, but he ain't no Cool G rap. We didn't even play them games back then. You know, maybe with a Kane and a Rakim, who's better. You didn't even say nothing. Chuck was just as Chuck was headlining these tours. Just so that people understand that they may not be able to grasp on what that means. Headlining is when you are the main act. You are the one who everybody came to see. It was Chuck who was headlining the tours, not Kane, not Rakim, and that's no disrespect to them. But it's just to let you know that that's how big and how important Public Enemy was at that time for hip hop. You know what I mean?
He knows he don't swear he nice. He knows he's nice.
There you go. Talk to him. Chucky D don't swear he's nice. He know he's nice. Also, I was listening, and we're going to talk about this one later too. By Any Means Necessary by KRS-One. I'm still number one on the way home. I'm not even naming that out, bro. Okay. But it's a quote that he says when he says, Chris is the name, 22 is the age. And I'm like, damn, all right, he was 22. I was 14. That's an 8-year difference. This is why people like KRS and Chuck D could rap about such highly intelligent things. They were, I mean, I know 22 isn't a grown-ass man. Well, here's the problem. You get on Twitter. Well, yeah, you do feel like you're a grown-ass man at 22. You've either graduated college or you've done something, you're working. So you do feel, these were grown-ass men at that time. And I know when I'm 14, if I met somebody who's 22 and you've already got out of college, you was a grown-ass man to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So this was also something that was dope about it, because you could have a grown-ass man like Chuck D or KRS, and I want to say maybe Chuck is even older than KRS, but KRS is 22. You could also have Special Ed, somebody who's 16. You know what I mean? In the same game, making incredible music, but their lanes didn't intersect because this 16-year-old ain't trying to rap like a 22-year-old, and the 22-year-old wasn't trying to rap like he was 16. This was the innocence of hip-hop. You just rapped about what you wanted to rap about. Special Ed wanted to rap about he had it made. That's what he did. And it was, you put I Got It Made on, people gonna lose their mind. You put on Welcome to the Terror Dome, people gonna lose their mind. That was the goal. Make dope music. That was just the goal. Eddie in the building. What's going on, good brother?
Good. Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah. We got you.
What's going on, man?
Yo, what's your number one album from '88, good brother?
Damn. So I'll put it like this. Because I heard in the background you asking JR. I mean, I wasn't as young as JR, but I was still younger than most of y'all. I was 8 in '88, right? So in '88, at that time, like I was probably gravitating more to the singles, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like stuff like Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper, that appealed to me. The Kid and Play appealed to me and all that, right? So, me back then would probably have a different answer, but reflecting the year of '88 as a grown adult, it has to be Public Enemy. It has to be that album. Gosh, you know, I'm having a brain fart, but yeah, man, powerhouse of an album, man. For all the reasons everyone said. I mean, I think, you know, the content was so important, and him to have, you know, Chuck having that voice, that commanding voice, and then the music was dope, you know what I mean? Like the production, the Bomb Squad production. I mean, even me as a kid, like, I liked Public Enemy. I didn't understand the gravitas of what they were talking about, but I think in some way, even as an 8-year-old kid, it's some of that you can absorb. So I think that's important, you know. You know, the kid, 8-year-old kids, what they're listening to these days, like, shoot. Never mind that.
All right, no doubt. We're gonna go back around real quick on the R&B tip. Porch, did you have any R&B albums this year?
You already
Porch
gave
is
me
strictly
a
hip hop.
Yeah,
Porch, I already gave you a stressful assignment as is. Porch said I ain't doubling down on this assignment, not today.
Not today.
Okay, I got my number one album that year. Is "Don't Be Cruel" by Bobby Brown.
Nice, I love that one.
Powerhouse of an album. Man, just Roni, Rock with You. I mean, just so much incredible stuff on there. I mean, Teddy and Babyface, just an incredible album. Just a flat out incredible album. Vern, what is your R&B album of the year?
So I want to go back to JR for a minute. I wanted to be in the Groove Me video. You remember the move with the arms and the legs, bruh? No, he did like a windmill, and the feet went. But I'm gonna say, and it's funny. Before
Vern, I can see you with the piano guitar thing, Vern.
Now, Vern, just FYI, I used to be a tick and tack dancer. Okay, now here's the thing. Back in the day growing up, I sucked with names. If you asked me to pick a name for a group, it was going to be whack or it was going to be a blatant bite. Just one of the two things. It was going to be, I don't know how I came up with the tick and tack dancers. Maybe I just had some tic tacs. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Here's the worst part. I don't know how my man Nate said cool. Like, because that's the wild part. Niggas be like, yo, how you come up with that? And I'm like, is it worse than I came up with? Or that my man was like, fuck it, yeah, we did tick and tack dancers. I don't know which one is worse. What you gonna say, bro?
What flavor was y'all niggas?
We
gotta be the orange one.
We was the dark skin. We were the Oreos. Whatever was the darkest candy that was out, that was us. Because we both was dark skinned, both had the crazy high top fade. It was.
My God.
What were you gonna say, Rob?
So scoop and scrap, tick and tack. That's
bro, like, what did I just say? Either it was gonna be corny or a blatant bite. Sometimes it was a little bit of both. You know what I mean? I think I told y'all the name of me and my man Riley, God bless the dead, who went to Morgan. The name of our rap group was The Seeds. Sound anything like The Roots? We was The Seeds, like literally.
You explained this in previous episode.
And again, is it worse that I came up with the name or that Rilo said, fuck it, we The Seeds? Like, I don't know which was worse. So again, I have now learned, I've now matured, and whenever we're looking for names for something, I just tell people, keep your eyes and ears open. God will give you the name. Yeah. So I don't choose names anymore. Apt.5B, again, that's my mother-in-law's apartment in Harlem. Again, I just keep my eyes open and my ears open for names that come to me, because picking names, that is not my forte. Yeah. I want to say one of my first rap names was Kill Rock Ski. And if you know the Fat Boys, it was Cool Rock Ski. So again, I can show you name after name where it's either a blatant bite or it's just whack as hell. So
yeah, you had that Jermaine Dupri spirit, but
yeah.
Damn, burn down.
Well, Burn, go ahead and finish what you were saying about the Groove Me video.
I want to be in the video, but so guys up there. But I was just watching New Edition, Any Heartbreak. That's my album. I was just watching the series they had on BET, and my daughter's like, "Oh, you getting ready for Sunday?" Because me and my daughter, my sisters, all us going to the concert, New Edition concert. So
word?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
But I'm getting when they come out here.
Yeah, man. But that album, cause I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest New Edition fan when they were younger because all the girls liked them. I was like, them niggas corny. What kind of name is Tresvant? I was you just trying to.
Shit, nigga, I wanted to be a New Edition, nigga. I seen all them girls liking them. I'm like, nigga, let me in. And then when Bobby left, nigga, I knew I was in. I knew I was fucking in. Didn't audition or anything. I knew I was the fuck in. I knew I was in.
You feel the dark skin.
Exactly.
There you go.
And I never forget, I was in Walden Books in Cheltenham Mall, and I was reading Right On magazine. It said Johnny Gill is the new fucking member of New Edition, and I was pissed. Like, you would have thought I auditioned. They called me back. I had some tryouts. Yo, I knew I was gonna be the next member in the group. I'm sorry, Vern.
No, you good. But but that album came out. I'm a junior. Got a couple of dollars, bought that tape, and it was definitely a different sound, a more mature sound, and I could relate to it as a young man. So yeah, definitely, Any Heartbreak is my favorite album, dopest album, same from that year. It's a more album.
Oh yeah. When we get to the album, oh shit, we were doing MCs. I done messed up this the week I'm having. All right, so another dope thing about New Edition, the videos.
Yeah, man.
The videos was dope. What's the first one when they're rehearsing and they lock the door?
If It Is in Love.
If It Is in Love, you got Sorry You're Not My Kind of Girl. This is the first time I learned marketing. I'm in 8th grade, 9th grade, and I'm like, yo, so I'll Be Sure, Bobby, and New Edition, their second videos were all live concert videos. Yeah. And it just hit me like, oh, they on tour now, so you want to do the concert video. So the Sorry You're Not My Kind of Girl was live concert. I forgot what I'll Be Sure joint was live concert, and then of course you had My Prerogative, which was a live concert. So
crazy.
It definitely made me think about that. Rel, any R&B joints as far as albums?
Don't Be Cruel, man.
Yeah.
Don't Be Cruel was fire, man. Like. It might be no skips on that John, man. They did it. They did their thing on that John. To me, you know what I'm saying.
Now you know what? Here's a great question for the R&B guru. I heard Ralph sung Every Little Step I Take and not Bobby.
Heard that too.
Really?
Oh, yeah, you can hear him. You can hear him.
Yeah, they said he was drunk or fucked up and high and couldn't do some of the parts.
JR was there, so
Ralph sung it.
I was not there, but
now you know who JR was. JR was the drunk man. JR the one who sold him the weed to get high. That's who JR was. JR did. Let me find out. JR ain't the real R&B guru. He the R&B assassinator. That nigga gave everybody dope all throughout the years. Like this just all traces back to JR. And now he wants to come out in his ninth life and save the culture. Like he ain't the one who fucked it up.
This nigga.
But yeah, I gotta go back and listen to that.
So Ralph,
but I never understand how did we hear it because they sound totally different. Ralph sounds nothing like Bobby.
It's not that. I think Bobby also had to redo his part, but you can hear Ralph under him.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
you can hear him. You can hear him on the chorus. You can hear Ralph on the hook. But of course,
now riddle me this, JR. Did you know that before it became public information?
Yes, my mom did.
Okay. All right.
Say less.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I gotta say. That's all.
He was there.
You know, some folk will act like they knew all along, but
oh no. But Rel, you think there's no skips on Don't Be Cruel?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I just went back. There are.
I said there might be no skips. I ain't listened to it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to cause no shit. I'm just
Time out. Do y'all see the favoritism going on right now? I've been doing DEI training at my job.
Why?
Did you just see the favoritism that just the fuck happened? He ain't trying to start no shit with Rao. This nigga starts shit with me every week. You think this nigga give a guy? We just talked about this in DEI training this week. It's not just about black voices not being heard. It's about favoritism too. Okay, I had to break that down to these white folks. They're like, yeah, the black voice matters. I said, and so does favoritism, and so does sexism. Don't just stop with black people. I'm messing with you. I have never seen you in the history of this show. You say I don't want no problem, kill like no.
Well, no, you be shady with your shit.
So with Riley was like I don't want no beef. With me, I be getting all tones of faces. I be getting all. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna bring my homegirl on and do some DEI work with us. You know what I mean?
But as soon as Ralph said it, I made a face. So I thought you saw me.
Okay, I apologize. Then I take it back. I take it back. All
right, bro. You know what? I want to start some shit. That shit was whack. Like, what are you talking about? That shit ain't got no. That shit got skips. That's what you want? You feel better now?
I don't.
You feel better now?
No, because I've been teaching DEI. I just want everything to be fair. This is what I just came up with my job. I just want everything to be fair. I just want fairness here at Apt.5B. I didn't know we need DEI work before.
I'm gonna write that down on my notes.
Fairness. We just want to all be fair. Okay, Rhett, do you have any R&B albums, Rhett?
Fairness.
Yeah, there you go. Equality and fairness at Apt.5B.
I do. I have two albums that I love. Sade, which is
pick one.
Stronger Than Pride.
There you go.
I ain't got to say nothing. If you know, you fucking know.
Listen, 88. Ain't nobody seeing 88 R&B and hip hop combined.
Not at all. And that's when R&B and hip hop really started. The first time you can start seeing the hip hop culture come into R&B for real.
Correct.
That's when you first saw it. A lot of people don't say that, but that's when you kind of saw that swag coming in, and it was like that was like with Guy and all that. So and Bobby, of course. So.
Yeah. And Kill, I ain't just talking about like best sounding. I'm talking about groundbreaking, historic. Albums on hip hop and R&B.
Bro, you about to say something?
No, because the question we're gonna get into it later. I'm about to ask about a producer, but we
we're gonna definitely talk on producers. I'm all thrown off today. 3 R&B albums. Well, no, we'll come back to that when we get to him.
Wait.
Oh, Ed, you got an R&B joint?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, "Don't Be Cruel" as well, man. But so I won't belabor the point, man. But to JR's point, I feel like that album was front loaded. You know?
Yes,
like,
it was. That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
So it kind of gives you that feeling like that there ain't no skips, but then at some point you're probably tuning out, you know, once all your joints are done, like you brought, you know, but not definitely, man. I was dancing to that album, man, like 8 years old, man, getting busy. That was a party joint.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's front loaded.
You see it?
Right.
You see it?
Oh yeah, side A is ridiculous. Like it's.
Side B is actually a B side.
Yeah.
I just look. It's front loaded like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And also, again, we're gonna talk about this with 88. These videos, the video for Ronnie, that the live joint when he brought Shorty out.
Man,
you know what I mean? The joint, the Rock With You, the remix video that was on the remix album. That I didn't like the original Rock With You. I was like, that's cool, but the video version when he do the little Marvin, wake up, you ain't like that, JR?
No, I'm with you. Cause
like that joint, that just
versions, yo.
Yeah, the video versions of these joints were so dope,
and the dancing from every little step.
Man. Every once in a while, I'll come home, put that song on and just start juking for my wife. It just make her laugh. I look like a clown, but I don't care. It's just one of them things that just make her laugh and make her day. So yeah, I love it. Have y'all seen Mike Tyson video?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Praise Lord Jesus.
Alright. So groups. What is the dopest group from 1988? Porsche.
Again, the dopest or like my favorite?
You can do both. What's the dopest? What's your favorite?
Man, you can show our favoritism to Porsche. We had to.
I do. I'm not gonna see that. I don't lie. I don't even lie about it. I don't.
I'll just go with.
And you're saying?
Okay.
No, I'm admitting. I'm admitting.
No,
I'm admitting.
The dopest. I'll just do one. The dopest group, I guess, should be Public Enemy, but in my opinion, no, I gotta go with. I'm very comfortable going with Public Enemy. Listen, my list is like solid. I could really pick anyone off of this list, and it would be like 5 mics. So I'm gonna go with Public Enemy, and the reason for that is honestly just it takes a nation. They are the ones who gave us It Takes a Nation. That by default makes them the dopest to me. So yeah, that's the dopest. And then, okay, I'll just squeeze in my favorite, but I won't explain anything. Run DMC. That's it.
All
My
right.
favorite, Run DMC.
Okay.
I got Public Enemy for everything we've already said. Vern, what do you have?
Group. I just want to. I gotta go. I guess EPMD. That was my favorite. I mean, Dopest to me, Dopest album because everybody else said Public. So I'm gonna go with them for the group as well. Yeah.
All right, JR. Oh, here I go messing up again. R&B for me would be God. Would be the dopest group.
Oh, it would have been God. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if on the R&B side, Vern. R&B side, who's the dopest group for 88?
Shoot.
Damn.
You know what? I'm gonna have to renege on that. I gotta go NE. I gotta go New Edition.
Yeah.
I gotta go NE.
I'm going New Edition for the simple fact that, I ain't gonna throw shade on nobody.
Yeah,
New
I'm
Edition.
gonna do NE. And shout out to the NE Heartbreak remix video when they was on the scooters and they had everybody was in the video. Heavy D was in the video. Everybody was in the video. Like, that was an epic video shoot right there.
That was dope too to have that.
Yeah, like when they was on their scooters, then Mike came in rapping and everything like that. So just a very dope. Like JR was saying, just you could see R&B and hip hop starting to come together that year. JR, what about you? Hip hop group and R&B group from '88.
Hip hop is gonna be EPMD for sure for me, and actually I was gonna say New Edition for R&B for real, because like I know what Vern is thinking about another group, but I'm gonna leave it alone. So yeah.
Y'all speaking a secret language, nigga? I want to know about the other group. We gotta do this offline.
No, I just chose New Edition because there are actually on that album actually more than one singer.
Right.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
If you go with another group,
right. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. All right. Rel, who you got? Hip hop R&B groups for '88.
I'm gonna go NWA for hip hop. But I will say this, man. Some of these groups, if you name them, like you're not really wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
Like '88, like this is like hip hop group heaven. Like if you think of all the names, even some of the names
we ain't even said some of them yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Some of these, when you look back at '88, some of these groups that was out, and a lot of we haven't even really named yet, and so it's crazy. So I could have said NWA, EPM. I'm gonna go NWA though, and then
you can't go wrong with NWA.
Yeah, then New Edition. I'm gonna go for R&B.
All right. I think one of the illest things about NWA, at least for me, this was my real hardcore introduction to West Coast hip hop. You know what I mean? I heard Ice-T and everything like that, but I remember when I saw Straight Outta Compton, saw the album, and I'm like, yo, what's Compton? I didn't even know what Compton was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we talk about Wu-Tang putting Shaolin on the map and, Griselda putting Buffalo on the map, wasn't nobody. I knew LA and that was it. I didn't know nothing about no Compton or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So just an incredible album. Rap, what about you? Hip hop and R&B?
All right, so Dopest hip hop. I'm throwing monkey wrenches today. Fuck it. Nobody talks about this except for you. Jungle Brothers. Don't let that shit get lost in the fucking pile. Dopest, my personal favorite, EPMD. I think that probably is the reason I became a DJ. As far as R&B, I'm with everybody else, man. Fucking New Edition. You had to be there.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
yo, and I think for people watching who may not have been around in '88, the reason why this show is so hard, because like Rel said, like we've all said, there are like numerous 5 mic albums. Like I think I wrote down about 12 that dropped that year, and at least 10 of them are 5 mic albums, and the rest may be 4.5, 4 and a pass. But that's the most incredible thing about this album. Rack, you talk about the Jungle Brothers. Me and my man Lord Cross, 7th grade, going into 8th grade. We only had enough money to buy 1 tape a piece. And he was like, well, I'm going to buy EPMD, you buy the Jungle Brothers, and we'll trade in a week. You know what I mean? Because at the time, niggas ain't even have the double cassette discs to even dub it yet. So I remember a week came up, and I was like, damn, yo, I don't want to give up this Jungle Brothers. And then I went to him, I was like, yo, bro, man, I don't think I could get this up. He was like, man, I can't give up this EPMD either. And I was like, it's like that? And he was like, they like that? And then we eventually got our allowance and went on and brought them. But it was just like to go into the whole piece of it being, and again, this is what this generation will never be able to have, these stories of I only had enough money to buy 1 album. You know what I mean? And it was like, all right, we was like, all right, we'll just switch. And then, but yeah, straight out the jungle, the foundation of the native tongues, bro. The foundation, the only hip hop house song that I like. The only hip hop house song, "Girl I House You," is the only hip hop house song that I love.
Don't fuck with Doug Lazy.
Nah, man, I don't even know if I ever considered that hip hop house. I probably just threw that in the house bag. But "Girl I House You," man, listen, my nigga, listen, you in my hut now?
I open up house sets with that. If depending on the crowd, if I'm doing a club, I will open house sets with something to walk them into it. Because 4/4s is hard to walk somebody into, as opposed to walking them into some hip hop and then moving that way. But
just everything about the JBs that people, and this is where you gotta do your homework. Jim Browski. If you know about KRS and by any means, that's where Jimmy comes from. So Jimmy was just Jim Browski part 2. You know what I mean? And I remember being in 6th grade and my older cousin being like, yo, you know what Jim Browski is, right? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell he talking about. And it was just, yo, Jungle Brothers, Straight Out the Jungle, the single. Because I got it like that, dancing on the dance floor. Girl Is You that I adore, step on stage, scream for no more. Africa got rhymes galore.
That is an underrated album.
Oh my god,
because it got overshadowed with everything else. But that album,
when you in my hut, you know what's up. Let your mind be free, nigga. How do I know words to house songs? Yo, don't get me started on the JD. Don't get me started on JD. Oh my god, yo,
hey, man.
Listen, don't get me started. I was 10 years old. My uncle was
yo, you don't understand the joy that "Girl I House You." Yo, you don't understand the joy, man. Hey, man, and here's the great part about the innocence of this is none of these songs, for at least for me that I'm naming, have anything to do with women. Well, maybe the R&B do, but the hip hop, the joy you see in my eyes is just innocence of music. It's not anything else. It's just "Girl I House You" was just so crazy that What you gonna say, bro?
When we used to hang with Speech, back in his Suzuki Samurai, Zuzu wrote something. He bumped that Jungle Brothers. Bumped it.
Yeah, crazy.
Love that album, man.
JR, what about you? Did we go already?
For groups? Yeah, I did mine.
All right, so we did groups. All right, MCs. Who is your number one MC, Porsche, from 1988?
I know what she's gonna say.
Yeah.
I got MC Light.
I told you. I knew it. I know you.
He told us but didn't tell us. I went with MC Light. Again, I've got a list of like 5, and they're all 5 mic MCs. I'm not even close. But MC Light for me, and again, I say this again, I feel like a broken record, but MC Lyte was able to hold her own in a severely male-dominated era or year in hip-hop. And not only that, with the caliber of albums that were coming out and the caliber of MCs that were, you know, releasing things, MC Lyte was able to release Light as a Rock, and that album is 5 mics. Like, she was just so perfect with everything that she did with that album. I absolutely love it. That's one of my favorite albums of all time, and she is my absolute favorite. Well, she's, I guess I put her on my top 10 for sure. And then on the female side, she's my favorite if someone wants me to split it. But yeah, MC Lyte all the way. So Light as a Rock would be the reason for that.
And here's the thing that I always tell people about Lyte. We schooled JR to G-Rap's Road to the Riches on the last episode.
I've been playing that shit like crazy. I'm sorry.
Yo, he texted me this week like, yo, this G-Rap, man. I was like, yeah. No, you hit me about Men at Work. Men at Work.
Yes. I like
the thing that was so. Oh no, it's all of it's crazy. But the crazy thing about Men at Work when I first heard it is because he rhymes for like 72 bars there before he even gets to the chorus. Now here's the thing. You know who did that before G-Rap? MC Lyte on this joint right here. First Priority Basement Family album. Nice. This is a compilation from First Priority that dropped in 88. This is a slept on album for y'all out here in 88. First Priority was Milk and Giz, the Audio 2, MC Lyte. You had Missy Me, who was a female MC. I think she was from Canada. Positive K, The Alliance, all that stuff was on First Priority. She has a song on here called Survival of the Fittest, which ended up being put on the second Lyte album. But it started here first, and it's a different beat. And she rhymed for like 75 bars straight. So even before G-Rap did it, Lyte did it. So, and again, I'm not sure if there's anybody that was on a major label, because somebody gonna get me on Twitter like, yo, my man Little Dicky did that shit. Now, nigga, I don't know what your man did down North Philly. I'm talking about recording artists, because niggas love saying that shit to me. Like, yo, my man did that shit first. Like, yeah, and I'm sure somebody did the Sham God in North Philly before Sham. I'm talking about niggas who did it on a level, who were on a major label. And Lyte, a female MC, was the first to just bar out with no chorus. Survival of the Fittest, very dope pick. Porsche. My pick is Big Daddy Kane. Just all the 12 inches leading up to Long Live the Kane, Raw, Ain't No Half Stepping, just rhyming with Biz, all that stuff that was on there. Then again, I take you back to 88. I tell a story all the time, but we're talking about, Porsche said one of the most important things to know about Chuck was he was rapping from a perspective to let you know what was going on that year and at that time. Most MCs didn't do that. So somebody now won't understand that in 1988, yo, girls would be like, nigga, Kill, you cute, but nigga, you look like Flavor Flav. Like, you too dark. Like, dark-skinned people were not in at that time. So for me, Big Daddy Kane was the Rosa Parks for dark-skinned niggas. He led the way so that the rest of us could get some play. Because in the 2000s, you look at people don't understand, because you like, yo, you got Omar Epps, Tay Diggs, Mekhi Phife, all these dark. Eddie Murphy, I think, was it Eddie or Charlie said on the thing, we was the darkest niggas on the planet. Eddie
That's
Murphy
why you heard
was
him say darkness.
Yeah, darknesses. Like, yo, there was no love for dark skinned people. So Kane also opened the door for dark skinned people. So I applaud Kane for that. But Kane is my number one MC. Vern, what about you? Who's your number one MC from 88?
Before I go there, I was just at Move Music last Friday, and I saw that vinyl, that First Priority, man. So I gotta go back.
Grab that if you see that, grab that, especially on vinyl, bro. Especially on vinyl.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with KRS-One, man.
Can't be mad with that.
No, and I'm just choosing because one already said like I was gonna pick like and you said Kane. KRS-One, man, that album By All Means Necessary was very. That album, talking about memories. I really learned how to drive. Every summer, my sisters would go back to Gary and stay with my grandmother for the summer. So my parents would fall asleep, say, "Here you go," and I just put on stuff. So I had that album, that tape, and I just rolled out. And I remember my mother was trying to clown. you know how his cadence on Part-Time Sucker. You know,
Right.
she's trying to clown it. And I was like, man, you know, she kind of made me mad for a minute, but she was just kidding. But yeah, so I'm going.
But you know, Vern, that's so deep that it made you mad. That's how much we love this music.
Yep.
That the people who we love, who made fun of it, would make you mad. Like, I tried to rumble my older cousin when he told me wrestling was fake in like 1986. Like, I swung on that nigga. Like, nigga, what you mean this shit fake? What are you out your mind? Like, you can't talk that shit to me. Wrestling ain't fake. Nigga, you ain't see Ric Flair. I'm still waiting to see what happens this Saturday when he get home from the hospital. And you know, so yeah,
That's so
like what?
real, man.
It's like telling the kid Santa Claus don't exist. Like, you don't do that shit. Like, if you see I love wrestling, my nigga, and I'm a little shorty, don't ruin it for me. Like, be like, yeah, Magnum TA really hit him in the head with a piece of wood, and he got up and walked away. Like, sure, kill. If that's what you want to believe, little nigga, believe that. Like, let me believe what I believe. So, I feel you, man. I feel you. The funny thing about that album, Vern, after Scott got killed, and for people watching, Scott LaRock, who was in BDP when he got murdered, I thought hip hop was over, bro. Like, BDP at that time, Criminal Minded is one of my favorite albums, probably the album I played the most. And when he got murdered, I just thought hip hop was over. And my next door neighbor, 2 doors down, Ron, knocked on my door at the 12-inch with My Philosophy, bro. And it just felt like hip hop was alive again. I was like, yo, BDP is coming back out. Like, yo, there's another album. Like, yo, this is amazing. And then when you see the video for My Philosophy, and then just everything by any means or by all means, I never know which one it is.
Yeah.
But it's any okay. Yeah, like just an incredible album, man. Incredible album. Rel, what about you? Dopest MC, and singer. I forgot that. Mine is Bobby Brown. Vern, who's yours? Your favorite singer from that year?
Singer,
or the best, the dopest singer for '88, or however you want to call it.
I have to go Bob. It's another solo, but yeah, Bob, definitely. Yeah.
All right, Rel, MC and singer.
I'm gonna go Rock.
No. Let me go back. I'm gonna pull a wild card.
That nigga pulled the coach timeout. He called the coach challenge.
I'm gonna go Misha Paris. That album.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Bruh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Misha Paris. Hey,
as
man,
the dopest singer, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
Nah, I just
that
didn't expect to hear that one.
album is
Look at JR's face. Look at JR. Like, I gotta just zoom in on him. He was frozen for a minute.
We gotta teach too, JR. We gotta teach too.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you, man. There was a period of time where chocolate British women singers had me mesmerized.
I know where he's going.
Rex auntie.
I was just about to say Karen Willer. I knew where it was
I looked
going.
up like
Karen Willer. Jane from Loose End.
I knew it.
And Misha Paris, bro, they like Medusa. If I stared at
We ain't sending your ass to the UK. We just gonna keep you right here in the States.
and
keep you nice and
then
happy
you
in
had
the States.
the 5-star sisters too. But no, Misha Paris.
5-star.
Yeah, Misha Paris had so much soul, man. It was a smoky, silky, and Misha Paris is my pick.
okay.
Yo, quick question. Because I'm watching, and maybe y'all know, because y'all all watch ball. When did these Karate Man brews on the inside headbands come back? Like, Drew Holiday's wearing this, like, this ain't even a headband. It look like he got a half-cut Nick Cannon turban. Like, I'm like, nigga, what just happened to a headband? Like, why do you have a Karate Man brews on the inside head? Whatever. I don't know.
Explain that analogy because some of our
Karate Man brews on the inside. Please watch 48. I mean, not 48 hours. Please watch Trading Places. Watch Trading Places. Here's the pop figure from Trading Places right there.
Billy Ray Valentine.
Yeah, Billy Ray Valentine. Watch Trading Places. If you've never seen Trading Places, watch it. With my man Giancarlo Esposito, one of our greatest actors ever. Giancarlo Esposito, Big Brother Almighty, up in there.
No jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And here's a funny story with that. When he's like, you look like a big Barry White motherfucker. I didn't know who Barry White was at the time. So I used to walk around and be like, you look like a big Barry White, Barrel White. I don't even know what that was, but it was Barrow. If I had to spell it, it would be BARROW, a big Barrel White. And it's so funny when I found out who Barry White was. I was like, it makes sense because he looks like Barry White. But my whole childhood growing up, it was that big Barrel White. I don't know what a barrel was. I would make up words, but yeah. So for everybody watching, if you haven't seen it, watch Trading Places. One of the greatest movies of all time, and it was filmed in Philadelphia. It was filmed at the crib. So you got to go with that. I don't even know where I left off at. You said Mika Paris. Rel, you was up because Verm threw the 20-second timeout.
Right.
Who you got, Rel?
I got Rakim.
Nice.
I got Rakim at 88. You know what I'm saying? The follow up to Paid in Full. You know what I'm saying?
Holy shit.
And I can't. Hold on. Let me get myself together. Y'all crazy.
Here's the wild part. I just remembered something else I didn't know. Y'all think I suck with R&B lyrics? I suck in movie lyrics. You know when he's in the house and he's like, "Who's putting their cools out on my floor?"
Yeah.
When he's having a party, he's like, "Who's putting their cools on it?" I didn't know that. I thought you said, "Who putting their clues?" They clues. So I would be like, "Who putting their clues on my floor?" And Tanya was like, "Nigga, what are you saying?" I'm like, "Who put their clues out on my floor?" Nigga, what is a clue? What is a clue? What is a clue? And she like, help me understand this, my nigga. You have a clue. How are you putting it out on their floor? Don't you see him with the cigarettes in his hands? I was like, I didn't pay attention. So for years, it was you big Barrel White and who be putting out their clues on my flow. Sorry, Ralph. Sorry, Ralph. Just go right ahead with what you was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
I told y'all I do not pay attention to lyrics, and obviously movie scripts either. I don't pay attention.
You guys are all so. I have to gather myself. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know how you follow that, man.
But here's the fun part: you gotta make fun of yourself. Like that's what's wrong with Twitter. Like nobody can be wrong. Everybody gotta be right. You gotta put on this bravado personality. It's like, yo, have fun, enjoy life, laugh. Like, yo, I didn't know. It was like, yeah. And I would be telling that to everybody. I'd be like, you big Barrel White motherfucker, get out of here, nigga. They be like, Barrel White, nigga, this is what it is. Like I had other niggas saying Barrel White. So
what's wrong with him?
But you had to see my face when I learned who Barry White was, and then I saw the scene again. I'm like, oh, like it was the brain emoji. Like that's why he said you big Barry White. Look at okay, now I got it. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. What was the question?
MC or singer.
Yeah, I got Rakim, man. You know what I'm saying? Follow the Leader was the follow up to Pay in Full. I mean. And he was still in his bag, and I remember, like, he rapped different than everybody else to me when I heard him, like, being that his voice and that tempo, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't, oh my God, what happened now?
Now, I'm watching the game, and Bobby Portis just looks like he sees something coming.
He always looks surprised, don't he? He always looks surprised.
Yo, I be looking like, I see that nigga, and I'm like, what the fuck is coming? Like, what do you see that we don't see, Bobby? Like, that nigga can see his eyes are so bulging all the time. I'm just like, nigga, do you, is there somebody in the crowd? Like, is Satan here? Do you see the devil? Like, what do you see that's coming towards us that none of us see yet? Like, and let us know, nigga. Like, just don't.
I hate how he looks, bro. Like, he looked like surprised all the time, bro. Yeah.
Yo, I would get my eyes fixed. Like, all that millionaire money, I'd be like, bring my lids down or do something. Nigga, come on, you can do that. You can bring your lids down.
Nah, you right about
you
that.
have to be able to bring your lids down. I mean, they do everything else. Just, I'll be like, doctor, just bring the lids down and don't make them so big or whatever. I'm sorry. R&B wise, bro.
Sade.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah. Sade.
There you go. And Vern, I totally understand what you were saying about Sade not being at Super Bowl. I will take Sade anywhere. It could be 29,999 people who hate it. I will be the one nigga singing "Is It a Crime" at the top of my lungs. I'll take Sade singing at a funeral, a bar mitzvah, a damn baby christening, a damn blood crips fucking reunion. I will take a Sade concert anywhere that I can get it.
Yes, sir.
Niggas will be like, "Yo, Kill, we're sorry your father passed away, but Sade is here." I'll be like, "Hey, let's go. Let's wish yet. We're going out. Like, let's go." I will take Sade anywhere, anytime.
I was 6 years old when I found out what love was, and love was goddamn Sade, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what you say. Sade is love.
So you cannot go wrong with that.
Reminds me of Samuel L. Jackson today with the amount of bombs he's dropped.
Don't care what you say. Love is Sade.
Yo, and here's why for people watching, this is how much fun 88 was. This is how much fun it was. Like, this is it. Like, I mean, we ain't even touch on the movies that came out in 88. Maybe we'll start doing that next time too, with the next year. We'll talk about some of the movies that came out too. Because right around this time, Spike's Do the Right Thing that came out in 89, to me was just as a big part of hip hop as the music that was coming out at that time. You know, this is Do the Right Thing was one of those soundtracks that when the soundtrack became just as important as the film was. You know what I mean? So, and again, Fight the Power, the Do the Right Thing soundtrack. They just go hand in hand. Rec, what about you? MC, singer?
MCs, I'm going with Biz, man. My stepbrother. Nice. I met my stepbrother in 88 for the first time. And before he left to go back to Virginia, he gave me fucking Going Off. I kept that tape till it literally shattered in my hands. Like that's how long I kept that tape.
That's a good brother, man. That's a good brother.
Man. I just recently got back in touch with him. Some family shit, but I just recently got back in touch with him. And I reminded him of that. And
that's dope.
That was probably that's the first time I realized who Biz was and what it was. But that tape, before he left, he's like, "Yo, I got something for you." He went in the Nissan Sentra, handed that joint off. I was like, "Oh shit, you giving this to me?" He was like, "Yeah, this yours. You keep that."
That's beautiful, man.
I kept that shit until it literally broke. That's beautiful. And singer, I'm with Rel. You said Anita Baker, right? Or you said
Sade.
My bad, I was laughing too much. I'm going with Anita Baker.
All right,
man.
All right.
Hey man, this year I don't see nothing touching it. I mean, do you realize the caliber of names we're dropping, bro?
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this show. I don't think people do. Like, this show, cool. We can literally do this until fucking tomorrow and still have people to cover. This year, in my opinion, is the catalyst for hip hop moving forward for the next 25 years.
That's a fact.
That's
like
real.
It's that much solid material that you can base this off of. People's careers, legends' careers, what you watching Versus and all that shit. That is what you're watching. This is the start of it, at least, or at least a piece of it. It's that crazy.
Hey, and I'm like I said, I'm talking R&B too, bro. We talking Anita Baker, Sade.
Yeah, crazy. Some heavy hitters. That's dope. Your brother gave you that tape. I brought Jodeci's first album for my sister as a Christmas present, and I was like, let me open this up and see what it sounds like. And then that nigga ain't never get no Christmas present that year. I just kept it. Dog. At first, I was like, well, I'll wrap it up. But can you really wrap up the tape after it's open, after it's out the plastic? And now I'm like, well, that would be tacky. So, nigga, you just don't get shit this year.
You could have at least went and bought her another one.
Nah, money was tight, bro. Money was tight.
Got a pack of annihilators.
Exactly. Like, nigga, you got my love. So there you go. So it is nice that your brother gave you the tape. All right, we did MCs, we did groups, we did albums, producers, Porsche, dopest hip hop producer. I'm sorry, JR. We laughing. JR, I'm sorry. What about your joints?
No, but I mean, everybody done said it. The only one I was gonna say was Slick Rick, and I was gonna say actually Aaron Hall as a singer for real.
Okay. You done did some long division and extracted him out of the group and put him as a album. Okay, yes. I got you. I got you.
He was a favorite, and then MC was Slick Rick. So
yeah. Again, and for everybody watching, we've said this before. Slick Rick getting locked up is one of the. We did an episode on MCs who got locked up and whose career was probably most messed up by it, and I think Slick Rick is like the number one. He was on top of the world. That happened, and this wasn't a time when you got locked up and you got more fans while you was in jail. Like, this wasn't that time in hip hop. Like, you know, in the 2000s, you get locked up, you come out with even more fans because that just shows how real you are. This wasn't that in 88. It was like you got locked up and niggas was like, damn, you shot somebody? Like, it wasn't like a badge of honor. Like, yo, you heard Rick wet his cousin and woo woo woo. And, you know, it didn't, him shooting his cousin didn't help his rep anywhere. You know what I mean? Whereas it's so funny, bro, you talk about how hip hop changes. I was watching all the Sopranos again. I forgot that Lord Jamar was on there for an episode where he was the rapper and he was getting one of Tony's men to shoot him to help his album sales go up because it was like, yo, you got shot. You know what I mean? So it's like we're not at that time, and that's what I mean about the innocence of hip hop. You find out your favorite rapper shot somebody. That nigga stock rises like no business. Like, yeah, see, I told you that nigga ain't play. I told you that nigga hold the UWAP on him, whatever. In 88, it was like, I don't know. I don't think it was anything negative towards Rick. It wasn't like we was like, oh, that's fucked up, he shot his cousin. But at the flip, it wasn't like, oh, that nigga Rick real. Like, that nigga Rick hold the gun. That nigga bust his gun. Like, it wasn't anything like that. He just went to jail. And the sad part is because he wasn't dropping music, people kind of forgot about him. Me and Rick are probably the only two people who like the second album. I actually really enjoyed the second album.
No, I like it.
Me, Rick, and Porsche. Rick, and Porsche. And maybe Vance Wright, the DJ, liked it. But I like the second album. But just to show that that's how different 88 was. Because, like I said, if in 2022, Vern, you a new MC and you just shot somebody and you got to do 2 years, nigga, you good. You know what I mean? You're going to be on IG live from prison, doing IG live from prison and, you know, dropping albums and everything and all this. It wasn't like that in 88. So I do think Slick Rick's name would be mentioned in the top 5, definitely top 10 of hip hop if he didn't go to jail for that. Porsche, dopest producer for 88.
So okay. I'm going to go, if you, Paul C and Said G and Ultra Megs because of Critical Beatdown. We haven't mentioned this yet because you haven't asked us for Slept On Joints, but that Critical Beatdown is just a impeccable body of work. It is such a good album that, you know, I know that Hip Hop Nation loves it because every time I tweet about it, people just come up.
I don't know.
They do because I have tweeted about it. I posted pictures of my vinyl when I got it in the mail.
Porsche, that's because you a girl. I'm just being dead ass. I'm being dead ass. Niggas is trying to get with you. That's all that shit is. I'm gonna keep it up because when I mention Critical Beatdown, it's crickets and it's just me and Penny talking to each other. You know what I mean?
Oh no,
Yo, we gonna do. You know what, Porsche? We gonna do a test. We gonna do a test. I want you to shout out something like the K9 Posse. Or like 783. And I bet you, man, niggas be like, yeah, 783 was the shit. And the K9 Posse and all that. I bet you. Bet
I want to see that. Do that.
Bet money. You know I'm telling you. Bet money. If you put out, yo, wasn't this K9 Posse a dope album? Man, niggas gonna be like, hell yeah, that shit was dope.
Ask them about the money round, see if they can find out who the celebrity was in that motherfucking group.
Yo, K9 Posse, yo, I'm telling you, when I say Ultra, it's just me and Penny talking to ourselves.
Oh my god. Okay, I love this Ultra Magnetic MC's album. Critical Beatdown is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It is like parallel to Public Enemy in terms of like soundscape to me. There's the scratches on Critical Beatdown are impeccable. Just everything. I want to say I don't speak producer, so I can't call them the proper term, so I'm not even going to try, but everything about the production on Critical Beatdown is just, it's flawless. It's flawless. And then not to mention just how enjoyable the album is, the way it starts off, like everything about it. It is such a great album, and if people haven't listened to it, if you don't think about it as highly as I do, you need to go listen to it again because it is all of that and more. It just needs mics, all the mics of the world. So, Critical Beatdown.
Paul C is a dope pick.
Yes, Paul C. I'm going to say Paul C said G.
For people who don't know, Paul C was a producer out of Queens, white. Was the first person to use the skull snap break right here. Mestizos, it's my turn. So, you know what I mean? That was crazy. Was Large Professor's mentor taught him how to make beats, which is why Large Professor's production company is called Paul C. He spells it S-E-A like the C, but it was after Paul C. Just an incredible dope producer, got murdered in Queens. He was doing stuff with Organized when we had Poe on a minute ago. Prince Poe from Organized was talking about everything with Paul C and just how dope everything was with him. So definitely dope pick. For producer with me, I'm going with Marley. I'm not even gonna dig into the book and everything like that. I'm gonna just go with his name as producer. He had the Kane album out that year. He had the Biz album out that year. He had the Born to Be Wild, which is MC Shan's second album that a lot of people sleep on. I know Shan is not the most lyrical miracle nigga, but it's still 1988 and it's still Marley Marl beats. So if you like the beats for Kane, you like the beats for Biz, you'll probably like these beats for MC Shan. He also had the 12-inch for G-Rap's Poison and Road to the Riches out in 88. And he also had the 12-inch out for Roxanne Shantae's Go On Girl, which was crazy too. So I'm giving Marley producer of the year for that. On the R&B tip, I gotta go with Teddy Riley. I mean, Don't Be Cruel guy. The nigga invented a whole new genre of music with New Jack Swing. Like, and I don't know. I mean, that was just it. I mean, so the nigga invented a genre. Like, you could just start and stop right there and just walk away. So that's who I got. Vern, who you got on the production tip?
I got Andre Young, Dr. Dre, on hip hop. The sound that he was doing with NWA, I had never heard anything quite like that, and I can't necessarily put my finger on it, but I've never heard production like that on the hip hop side. And R&B, man, you got heavy hitters that year, but I'm going with Teddy Riley too, because that sound, bro. I mean, like you said, he created a whole new freaking genre. So yeah,
no doubt. Rel, who you got?
I have Bomb Squad for producers. You know what I mean, just what they did. And then the fact that I don't know if they were the first, but I just remember like Ice Cube going and using them for his solo stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? A West Coast artist, you know what I'm saying? Using them for his album. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how influential they were. And I'm going to go Teddy Riley for R&B. For everything that everybody else said, you know what I'm saying? He kind of created his own genre of, you know, that New Jack Swing stuff that everybody, like it or not, everybody was making New Jack Swing songs. You know what I mean? They even got Run DMC with the pause joint. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, pause was that's when Jam Master Jay had the dreads and everything too.
Man, pause was shit.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go with there.
All right, Rec, who you got?
I'm gonna go backwards, man. R&B, I gotta go to Teddy Riley. You said it, man. The motherfucker created a whole genre. It's crazy, man. For hip hop, Monkey Wrench, EPMD. People forget they produce their own shit, regardless of who you think did or did not do it. That speaks volumes, man. They didn't have outside production; they did their own stuff. So that's where I'm going.
I ain't mad at that. One of the dopest things I think about EPMD at the time was, according to Parrish, I think, he was saying how they didn't know nothing about digging. So they just made the album based off of what records they had in their house. You know what I mean? Because your customers is ZZ Top sample. Wasn't nobody sampling no rock at that time. Everything was James Brown at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it kind of, when I read that story about Paris saying that, it kind of made sense. Like, yo, we ain't know nothing about digging or who to look for or none of that stuff. Again, this is what I'm talking about with the innocence. You didn't even know how to dig. It was just like, yo, whatever records we got, that's what we gonna bring to the studio, and that's what we gonna rap over. You know what I mean? So, again, this is why people all weren't sounding like. JR, what about you?
I was gonna say EPMD for rap. I was gonna say them because they produce their own stuff. And since y'all said Teddy Riley, I guess I'm gonna go with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I mean, they of course they did Any Heartbreak. They had Affair by Sherelle. You know, and it just doing that between 86 and 90. It was
They could have been the ones for all them years you just named.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis could have been the number one for a number of years, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes, because it was like always during that time. It was Teddy, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Babyface, and L.A. Reid. Top three right there.
Yeah. Period.
So so I go with Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
They need a documentary, man.
Yeah,
period.
They do. They do. Now 3 albums that if somebody is watching, you would say these are the 3 albums I want you to listen to from hip hop and R&B if you have it. Porsche, who you got up?
So I said It Takes a Nation already. I got Tougher Than Leather, Run EMC, Critical Beatdown, absolutely, and I'll go Straight Outta Compton. Those are my albums. And I mean, we mentioned those already, but Tougher Than Leather, Run EMC holds a really, really, really special place in my heart because Run EMC was like almost the first hip hop group that I was ever introduced to from my brother. And that's what got me into hip hop in the first place back in '86. So, Run EMC has stayed. They're like they've just stayed throughout my life always. So those 3 and Straight Outta Compton. I mean, we'll talk about it. I think we're gonna get to our favorite memories or whatever.
Yeah.
But Straight Outta Compton comes up there, and Critical Beatdown for everything I've just mentioned. That album is phenomenal. If you haven't heard it or you haven't spun it in a while, go listen to it again. It is amazing. Amazing.
But everything the Tougher Than Leather album was, the Tougher Than Leather movie was not. That movie was horrible.
Yeah, that movie was horrible. I actually watched that a couple of months ago. And I was like, yo, this shit was horrible. But here's the hard part. Again, once I think the industry got involved, I think with Beat Street, it was like, just make your movie. Breaking, just make your movie. You know what I mean? Then you start getting into Disorderlies. It was like, that was huge at the time just because we were able to see hip hop. People gotta understand, it was hard to see hip hop people on television, let alone in a movie theater. You know what I mean? So I know for y'all, it's nothing. Y'all just jump on YouTube or whatever. You couldn't just turn on the TV in 1988 and just see a rapper, like you can now. You know what I mean? Like,
you really couldn't.
You couldn't. So when I remember I went to see Crush Groove, it was like, yo, it's the Fat Boys, it's LL, it's Run DMC, it's everybody on the big screen. Like, yo, this is incredible. Like, you can't even imagine it. But Tougher Than Leather, that was horrible. For me, I have, again, Critical Beatdown. This may be my favorite hip-hop album ever. I love this album. Everything Porsche said, production-wise, said G. Rumor was he was the only man in the entire borough of the Bronx with an SP-1200. Supposedly, said G was behind the production of also another one of my favorite albums ever, Criminal Minded. So that right there, This Was Crazy and Cool Keith was rapping on a whole nother level than anybody else.
It's just really, it's fun. They're
definitely one of a kind, bro.
Ahead of his time, man.
A million years ahead of his time. The second one I got this from a pawn shop. I don't even have the cover for it, but I will have the back. Super Lover C and Cassie on the Run. Girls, I Got Them Locked. This is probably, again, 88 is maybe my favorite, not only the dopest, but my favorite because this is one of my top 5 favorite albums. This is one of my top 5, and so is Public Enemy. So that's how important it is. But Soup, we had a run on once, and just hearing the stories again. Paul C is behind this album. So when we're talking about Paul C, he's behind this album too. Rudd produced it, but Paul C engineered it and definitely had a hand in it. These were what you would call Porsche, cover your ears, your Drake type pretty boys at this time, because at the time you could see them light skinned pretty boys, like the whole Girls I Got Them Locked, I'm Back, all of that. For people who don't know, Do the James, that was the biggest single off of this, would Impeach the President. Do the James was a huge one. Again, y'all want to talk about, do they have a Shook Ones? Nigga, I'm gonna start saying, when people ask me shit like that, I'm gonna be like, do they have a Do the James? Because this shit, again, if you think Shook Ones was everywhere, Do the James was everywhere. And last but not least, on the Illadelph side, 3 times the original styling, greatest man alive, Funky Dividend, one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. Again, ever.
They don't know.
Yo,
about the Ag Nicholas one. I'm telling you, y'all. This right here, straight up, improving the grooving. From the Giddy Up, Believe That Straight Up, Joe Familia, the Crushing and Bustin' remix with Cool C. Oh my God. So straight 3 times dope, Super Lover C and Casanova Rud, Ultramagnetic. These are the 3 albums that, if you want to understand why hip hop was so great in '88, that these, and most people won't tell you to check out these albums.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to the big name albums, because you have the Bop Any Means, you have the heavy hitters, but all these albums to me are still 5 mic albums. Like that's the thing. These are just the ones that you may not hear people talk about like that, but definitely grab these joints. And on the R&B tip, I got In Effect Mode by Al B. Shore. I posted that today, because whenever I hear people talk about dope albums from the 80s on the R&B tip, I never hear Al B. Shore's name, which is crazy to me. That whole album is perfect. You know what I mean? From beginning to end. Ooh, Your Love Is So is still probably one of my favorite slow jams to this day. I'm gonna go with Karen White's first album. The Karen White joint, it had The Way You Love Me, Superwoman, Love Song with LA and Babyface. I tell people, just like I was talking about Sham with Marley in '88, this is Babyface and LA Reid in '88. So if you like what you were saying for Bobby Brown, they did Karen White's whole album. And here's the slept on one for me. Most people out there aren't going to know this joint. It's a group named Today. They were produced with Teddy Riley. They had the joint back in there called Him on Me. Him on Me. You know, again, Teddy Riley, I think, did 4 on these joints. So again, this just goes to show you how a group that most folk never heard of today was still getting beats by Teddy Riley. You know what I mean? So a lot of people out there may not, Big Bub may not know Karen White, but she was getting beats by LA and Face. So that's how incredible this shit at groups that y'all haven't even heard of were getting crazy production. So that's mine. Vern, what you got for your 3 albums, hip hop, R&B that you would want people to check out?
Before I go there, you said 3 times dope. I just gotta say, when I was with Steady B, I had it all.
When I was with that nut, and it's so funny because everybody talks and jokes with me about, because I got everybody saying nut ass now, but nut has been around since the 80s. Like that's when he's like, when I was with Steady B, that nut. I mean, when I was with EST, that nut. Like that's just a Philly word, just nut. You know what I mean?
Everyone's like, you're hanging around with Kill Too Much. I'm like, man.
Yo, here's the crazy thing about this 3D album. They literally have the lyrics. If y'all can see how small that's written.
Yeah.
But they literally have the lyrics to this. Also, 3 times dope. I gotta shout them out because they was the first time that I ever saw the 3s on their 12-inch. They had all 3 of them. They had the black, the fire red, and these joints on the back cover. And I was like, yo, I gotta get a pair of them. So another shout out to 3D for that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Assault with the Deadly Pepper.
Deadly Pepper.
There you go.
Get on up.
Hey man.
Everybody get up.
Yeah, man.
That joint was crazy.
It's your thing.
Oh my God.
Hey, bro.
They used that sample to the best.
And then when Buckshot killed it too with the Funk Flex joint.
Right.
So Assault with a Deadly Pepper was an era when niggas just like to party and dance. You ain't have to be ice grill with a razor blade and I mean, bro, that's what the girls were. Why wouldn't you want to dance? But so I'm going Salt and Pepper. I'm gonna go Life Is Too Short by Too Short. Too Short is a legend. Is he the most skillful rapper? No, but he knows how to make songs that last. You could go to a party, especially down here, and run off about 15 to 22 short joints, and the party will be lit. And then, speaking on a party tip, I'm gonna go Kid and Play Too Hype.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Man, that Getting Funky video,
Oh man, Jordan 3s. Jordan
Yeah.
3s in that video.
Yeah.
Same thing. The Jordan 3. You can see him right there. Kid and Play rocking.
Yeah. They had the Air Max joints too. That's how I felt.
Yeah, they had
the Air Max joints with the strap in the front.
This when they had the Volvo. This when you
The
have a
Volvo.
Volvo. A Volvo was just as dope as a Benz was.
Yep.
Right.
Last night, do this my way. Rolling with Kid and Play. Oh, bruh.
Yeah.
That was
Last night changed it all.
Come on, man.
Here's the thing. Here's my question for you, Vern.
Uh-huh.
For everybody out there who heard last night, the whole time Play is dissing his girl, calling her ugly. Yeah, your face so bald, I could read your head. Like, yo, this dude. Then all of a sudden, after the fight, he like, this girl's banging. She was dope. You know, how do you go from thinking somebody ugly to somebody's dope in 48 seconds?
I think his life flashed in front of him. He learned the value of who's really with him. That personality.
That's a good answer. That is a good answer. It's like Family Feud. Good answer, Vern. Good answer. Good answer, Vern. Good answer.
Shit, Vern.
Good answer, Vern.
I'm BSing because he sounds stupid. On the R&B tip, I'm gonna go with in effect mode. Any heartbreak, don't be cruel. You can't go wrong. No, I gotta go. I gotta take one of those off because everybody talks about it. Misha Parrish, so good. If you love soul music,
Baby.
hey man, Sway, nothing hits your heart like soul music. One Temptation, great impersonation. A great guy. Where's the Love? She did with who was that? Jr. Will Downer. Will Downer.
Actually, that's what I'm thinking about.
It was Will Downer. She did the duet with Will Downer.
That's right. That's right. Breathe light unto
Breathe,
you.
man. Come on.
Oh, listen, I hate to love you. What?
Oh boy, yeah.
What?
So, this is what I hate about. I can't find that original album streaming. The album that they have streaming, they polished all the funk, all the.
It's I don't even listen to it. I have it on my computer, and then my external went bad, and I'm trying to find it. But when I listen to it on this one, it's like the soul and funk is taken out. Like I don't even listen to it.
It's too clean, homogenized.
Yeah.
Like when they remaster stuff, because they did that with some of James Ingram stuff. I'm like, man, what is this?
That remastering stuff is like the worst. Again, we're getting back to the innocence of hip hop when you just we talked about Straight Out the Jungle. It may be one of the most poorly mixed hip hop albums. It just doesn't sound incredible. But when I say it doesn't sound incredible, I'm talking about the mixing and the mastering. It didn't matter.
Right.
Nobody at that time was like, yo, Jimbrowski is dope, but I think Sammy B is louder than Mike. Nobody cared if he was louder than Africa. Yo, it just was dope. And now we're at this place where if your music isn't mixed or mastered, and if Young Guru didn't mix it, or just is the music dope? You know what I mean? Like, is it dope? That's why I've never mastered anything. Niggas like, yo, Kill, should we master? I ain't paying for no mastering. If it's dope, I'm not investing. Here's the thing, yo. I'm old. I don't invest money that I don't think I'm getting that investment back. And the cost of mastering an album the right way is not gonna. I'm not getting that same return from streams or people buying it. So I'm not mastering nothing until I can make that and then at least that back. So, and at the end of the day, if it's dope, it's dope. Nobody is like, yo, I like you and King James album, but the mixing. Like, if you like it, you like it. You know what I mean? Vegas mixed Willmatic. You know what I mean? Vegas is an MC. That nigga ain't no engineer. So if you like it, you like it. We gotta get past this. You know, we all trying to just do the best that we can. I think that was the innocence of hip hop. But like you said, bro, when they remaster stuff, I don't want the Jungle Brothers remastered. I want it exactly the way it was. I don't want Mac and the Soul Brother remastered for the 20th anniversary. I want it just the way I heard it back in 1992. I don't want nothing changed. Don't add nothing to it. Just leave it the way it is. So I feel you on that remastered tip. Bro, what about you? 3 albums, hip hop and R&B, if you have them.
So, all the R&B ones I was gonna say, everybody said. So I got hip hop. Slept on. I got Super Lover C, Casanova Rudd. You know that. You know what I mean? That was a time. I remember. I remember when I first saw that. That was. I don't know. Like, again, like at the age I was at, man, they were like the coolest dudes in me, man. Like that was fire.
Yeah, the video for Girls I Got 'Em Locked.
Yeah,
the story of projects.
Yeah,
girl,
man. Yeah,
pump
man.
it up.
Like,
1, 2. Come on, get some. Stop telling it. You know you like to rock, but my name is Biseldon. Tell them that, yo, that's Super Lover C does not get credit. People, go out and listen to that Super Lover C album and listen to the way that he is spitting. Yeah. He is spitting on that whole album and doesn't sound like anybody. But I'm telling you, giving you bars, rapid fire, and just kicking that game shit. The girls, I ain't gonna hold you. When I was a shorty in 7th grade, I ain't have no game. So I would just say what Soup said. You know what I mean? So that's probably another reason why I love that album so much. That's like where I ain't have no older brother to school me. So hip hop was my older brother who would school me on how to talk to a shorty or whatever like that. I just be saying the shit Soup said.
I got Biz going off. I've been seeing a lot of Biz disrespect on timelines and people just not recognizing him as the legendary MC that he is. You know what I'm saying? They look at those that if they weren't there, they look at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But come on, bro. Biz.
They look at him like, you mean that just a friend nigga? Like
that's exactly what y'all.
This is what I hate when they call him the clown prince of hip hop. Nigga, there ain't no clown prince, man. What are you talking about? Go ahead, Real. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You right, bro. It bothers me to this day. I mean, the Vapors, like.
Right, that whole going off album, picking boogers, everything.
The Vapors is one of the best hip hop songs ever. I don't care what nobody say. The subject matter, the way he told the story, to me, that's one of the best hip hop songs ever. I got In Full Gear, Stetsasonic. I feel like the album talking all that jazz, Sally. I feel like the album was a little bit too long, but still, it was fire. It was fire. You know what I'm saying? And
I got a girl named Sally.
Yeah. I feel like that joint don't get mentioned enough.
It doesn't. I love it.
That's Sally. And the last one for me, you know, all you fake tough dudes, you can say what you want. You can't beat me. Too Hype. Kid and Play.
Come on, man.
Classic. I don't care what you say.
I know that's right.
All you fake gangsters, you can say what you want about me. You can't whoop me. Too Hype is fire. It's a classic. I don't care what you say, bro. Give Kid and Play they flowers.
Give it to him.
That was it. You know
hey, Real. To your point, 9th going into 10th grade. One of the gulliest niggas in College Park, called him Sugar Bear. I ain't gonna say it. Yeah. Anyway, he let me dub his Salt and Pepper Hot, Cool, and Vicious. So, are you fake tough, bruh? Yeah. These D-boys that was catching bodies was listening to this stuff, man. Yeah. Come on, man.
Let me explain something to you. I Desire with the Amen Break is one of the hardest beats that was out there. I Desire. So that's the thing, like, yo, again, getting funky, these beats were crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it didn't matter. Trust me, if you got a drug dealer's car in 88, they was playing some fucking Kid and Play. They was playing some Salt and Pepper. Then that was the beautiful thing about hip hop is, again, it could all live and breathe together. You can have an NWA tour with Salt and Pepper, with Kid and Play, with Jazzy Jeff, and Too Short. And on paper, that looks like a hot hell mess. Too Short and Salt and Pepper and Easy E. But everybody loved each other. Like, that's the thing. When you really do the knowledge and you read some of these hip hop books and go back and do the research, these people love the hell out of each other, man. You think Cube?
Everybody fuck with Head.
Like, yo, you think Cube and NWA and them didn't fuck with Kid and Play? Like, yo, y'all bugging, man. Y'all, and because everybody's played in their lane, and that's, again, I'm gonna keep going back to Innocence. None of the drug dealers in my neighborhood fucked with the kids who wasn't into that shit. You know what I mean? If you lived on the block. Now, if you ventured out, you would get fucked with, but we could all live together in peace and harmony. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't we gonna rob these niggas every fucking day after school because they don't sell drugs. It's like, nah, they little smart niggas, let them do them. You know what I mean? So, but that same little smart nigga may be nice on the court. So the drug dealer may pick him to be on his team. Like, we could all live together, and that's how hip hop was. Everybody could fuck with each other. We could all live together, and it wasn't no disrespect. Yeah, like Cube fuck with Jazzy Jeff and Free. You think Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff ain't get love from NWA and Too Short and them dudes? Like, nah, it was all good. But again, now that innocence is gone, it got to a place where you had to be hard. And that's why so many of these groups couldn't move forward because people have asked me, well, if Kid and Play was that dope, why ain't make another dope follow-up album? I mean, a couple of reasons. They wasn't fucking with Herb on the second album, which is a huge Herb piece because Herb was doing the beats. And then two, by the time the second album came out, gangster rap was here.
Right.
Because in 88, Straight Outta Compton dropped. But people got to remember, just because it dropped in 88, the record sales and all that stuff didn't start coming in until 89. So then in 89, when you're going platinum and double platinum, that's when the record exec said, oh, okay, this is where it's at.
Yeah,
and if people were around back then, I remember watching Rap City every week. I swear to you, be a new rapper from Compton. A new rapper with an LA fitted hat and an LA starter jacket. Every week, there'd be a new rapper from Compton because record labels was like, go get them, go get all them Compton people. So again, just in the year from 88 to 89, the innocence stopped because now the record labels are saying, yo, Kid and Play, you too clean. We need you to come harder. We need some rah-rah. Like, nigga, don't nobody want to hear no, what was it? And there was a song I liked it, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. Like, that probably was the only single off their second album. But I ain't gonna hold you, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody wasn't Getting Funky. It wasn't Do This My Way. It wasn't Last Night. But definitely.
Hey man, and hold on. If y'all think Will Smith is some corny dude, nigga, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, he's the DJ, I'm the rapper. They burned down the Omni. I just froze up, I think.
No. We heard you said they burned down the Omni.
Yeah, they burned down the Omni. They was on tour with Public Enemy, Run DMC, LL Cool J.
Jesus.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
but you know what the problem is, Verb? Again, in 88, you had to have a live show.
Yeah.
And that's where Will, that was Will at his pinnacle, was a live show. Because Will Smith came from the era of the party MC. Mm-hmm. It's almost like Will was just hosting a show with Jazzy Jeff. Then he'd bring out Ready Roxy. Then he'd bring out the Two Hype Dancers. He almost was the equivalent of Martin Lawrence on Def Comedy Jam. Like, I'm the host, but I'm going to bring out these other comedians to make y'all laugh too. It's like, I'm the host, I'm the MC, but watch my DJ get busy. And couldn't nobody fuck with Jeff in 88. The same way couldn't nobody fuck with Jeff now. So when people, so I don't care, no disrespect to Jam Master Jay or Terminator X or anybody else who was on the tour, wasn't nobody messing with Jeff. So Jeff was gonna hold that down. Ready Roxy was the illest beat by this dude playing Donkey Kong and all kinds of stuff with his mouth. And then you get the Two Hype Dancers out, and then you go into the brand new funks and all of that stuff. Like they were a party. That's where they excelled at, is on stage. A lot of these MCs nowadays don't excel on stage. You know what I mean? Because they don't have a stage show. They just kind of, and I always say it, enough respect to Atlanta, the dopest show I've seen in the 5 years I was doing a partnership with the Howard Theater that prayerfully is about to start again once COVID ends. The dopest show I saw was the Dungeon Family reunion. Party from beginning to end. I've never seen a show done like that. Like, Goody Mob would come out, do 2 songs. Outkast would come out. I mean, Big Boy and Sleepy would come out and do a couple songs, and Sleepy would come. They just rotated. And I was like, yo, that's dope as shit. Because I thought Goody was going to go, and then they just rotated all night, had 2 DJs. Out of all the groups I saw, they were the only 2 people who had 2 DJs that were actually scratching. Not just with the MacBook up there and pressing buttons and starting and stopping. No, actually scratching. So it just shows you that people don't have the art of the live show no more. You know what I mean? And the way that Rico and the boys trained them up to go out there on the road and be performers. You know what I mean? So definitely shout out to ATL with that. Rack, who you got for your albums that you would rock with?
All right, so I got Biz Going Off. Rel hit the nail on the head, and I told y'all my story. That record is in my heart. Number 2, Strictly Business, EPMD. I ain't got to speak on that one. And one that we haven't touched on, which tells you something. The reason why we haven't touched on this tells you something, that this year was that crazy that we didn't speak on the person who made the cultural shift lyric-wise.
That was gonna be mine.
Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader. Dope album, has some skips on it, but dope album. As far as what we're talking about, as far as albums that you need to listen to for the year. R&B, I'll Be Sure, in effect mode.
Bruh. Woo, yeah.
My uncle used to blast the shit out of that album. Uncle blasted the shit out of that album. I like it. I like that album. Dope album. Check it out. He's not the best singer. He ain't crooning you to death.
Right.
But the album is fire.
The girls loved it, and that's all I need to know.
The girls loved it. Like, the girls loved that album. Man. I'll be sure.
I saw him live in Atlanta in 2012, and the shit was just hilarious, man. To watch the older ladies show their colors, man. It was some funny shit. We was out, I want to say Peachtree or somewhere out there where it was just some funny shit, man. But me and the wife, we had a good time.
All right, JR, what about you? What you got? 3 albums.
Y'all said all of them. Strictly Business, Salt with a Deadly Pepper, and Follow the Leader was my hip hop. Now, when it comes to R&B, I like how you said, Kill, how NWA's album didn't hit really until like 1989. That's why I was gonna say Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever. Because that album came out in November of 1987, but it really didn't hit until 88. So we kind of had the beginning of 1988 before the summer of 88 came, and we know who came then. So it was like after that, but the beginning of 88, come on, everybody was knocking Make It Last.
Who produced that album?
Teddy Riley.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, that album right there. I moved to Atlanta, and Atlanta is a city, and so the upperclassmen, man, used to bump that Keith Sweat album. I'm talking about how the windows at the school rattling, and I never heard slow jams with that 808 like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was a culture shift.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's like that in Houston, man. They sample a lot of Teddy Riley's early work for the chopped and screw tapes. They'll rap over them, and they'll chop that shit up, slow it down, and them 808s be rattling trunks, riding down 45, 10, 59. You pick a highway, you pick somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like that in Houston as well.
Make it last. Dope.
Porsche, memories of 88.
My favorite memory of 88 is
Really?
What is JR talking about?
Nah, he's not. He's looking off. It's not
Because I ain't finished.
Yeah. He only did one album. Yeah.
Oh, my bad, man. Because you know what happens? The Bird was talking, the Rap was talking, and I thought it was. I apologize.
That's my bad.
I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. D hour. I apologize,
memory. Just skip my memory.
Yeah. I'm just going. Mine is Giving You the Best That I Got by Anita. And then I was going to throw Love Sexy by Prince.
Ooh, nice one.
I forget
that. Throw that by Prince. And then my last one, I got 4. I was going to actually say Sharp by Angela Wimbush. That had Angel on it. And
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Question.
That came out the end of 87 too, so yeah.
Question. Did George Michael's Faith drop in 88?
It dropped in 87 of August.
Okay. All right, because I was Googling stuff, but I'm like, I know you.
Jackson kind of came out around the same time.
Because I'm like, I knew you would have said George Michael's if it came in 88. So that's why I had to ask. Porsche, favorite memory.
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry, JR. My apologies to you.
That ain't your fault. That's my fault, Porsche.
But
it was his fault. All his fault.
See,
go ahead.
All my fault.
My favorite memory of 88 was honestly getting the tape of Straight Outta Compton. That one, I've told the story. I mean, I've told you guys how I acquired hip hop, any rap albums at that time, and it was from my older brother's friend who was older and would travel down to the U.S. and bring back stuff. So when we were at a family gathering, Persians, we all get together every single weekend, and this dude brings this tape over and gives it to my brother, and I remember like. It was just, there was so much hype between the two of them about this that I was so hyped to listen to it. And then when I listened to it, it didn't let me down. I absolutely loved it. So that NWA album is like very near and dear to me as well. For that reason, it's one of my favorite memories.
And it's funny that's your favorite memory. I have a funny story. Well, it wasn't funny when it happened, but I won it straight out of Compton. Because at first I was like, y'all know how I feel about perms and jerry curls and all that. So I was like, yo, these jerry curl niggas.
How do you feel?
And my old head Sean was like, yo, Kill, man, trust me, this NWA shit is dope. And I'm like, yo, these niggas got jerry curls. Niggas, what is you talking about, nigga? Like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, man, no, listen to this. And he like played it for me on his Walkman. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. So I caught a bus. I had to catch for people from Philly who know, I had to catch the XH to Germantown to go to the Sound of Germantown to buy the tape. Or what I'm wrong? Wrong bus route? Is it the H? It's either the H or the XH.
You're a pretty brave kid.
Oh, yeah. Because I was just about to say, you really don't go to Germantown unless you need to go to Germantown. So you really don't go. But I was like, yo, I got to get this tape. I went in the rain, in the pouring rain. I went to the Sound of Germantown, got the tape, popped it in my Walkman, listened to it like once, and then the tape popped.
Oh, no.
Did you know how to fix it at that time?
I would have cried.
I mean, I tried, and it didn't work, because that probably was one of my first tape popping experiences.
I got you. So
you know what I mean? Yeah. But, I mean, you know, you know what? I probably did fix it, because I was going to say that couldn't have been my first tape popping experience, because all the tapes I used to dub off the radio, you know what I mean, had to pop or whatever like that. But it was just the fact, like, how do you go all the way to Germantown? Like Rel said, I'm risking life and limb for this tape. Like, again, this is what hip-hop, this is what you do for hip-hop. Like, you risk life and limb, and then in the rain, and then the tape pop on the bus before you even get home, so you don't even get a chance to play it again. So that was just a hurt piece. So that's one of my many memories. And as you can tell, for people watching, we've been sharing memories all night, because 88 was just dope. Yeah, Vern, what about you, man?
Man, listen. All right, so 88, 11th grade year. 9th and 10th grade, we were at Lakeshore High School. And 88 is when Atlanta started consolidating schools. So Lakeshore and Westwood merged. Lakeshore had some upper crust people, but it had more apartment dwellers like me and some projects. Westwood was like Bel Air. You know, you had all the Eastern Airline employees, you know, with acre lots at their cribs. So we merged at there. So think about it. It's a whole new stable of girls we never seen before. It was lovely. It was beautiful.
Oh, man.
But for the first 2 weeks, there was brawls. Because Atlanta did something dumb. They merged rivals. Yeah. So, man, it was brawls in the hallway. Miss Mitchell, in her wisdom, what she did is like, all right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to kick out most people, but I'm going to get the thugs to be my security. So she got them t-shirts and everything. Brawls going. So now, you know, you kind of got tired of the same girls you saw in 9th and 10th grade. Bruh, whew, beautiful. And then Rudy, my boy Rudy had a car. It was me, Rudy, and Derek. He had his dad's like 82 Cougar with white truck rims on it. But man, I literally can see where we were when we first put on that EPMD tape, man. That 88, man. Whew, if you know, you know. It's just like you say, innocence, man. We high school kids, you know, doing mischievous things, but it wasn't, you know. I'm speechless because it was a great time of my life. I'll just put it that way. But my biggest memory is riding with Rudy and Derek and getting to that new school with all them girls. But that's me.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Rel, what's your favorite memory from 88?
My favorite memory is Philadelphia in 1988. Just the fashion,
city,
the haircut, the Jeff haircut, the EKs, the Alpinas, just the essence, man. That was the essence back then, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, the mall, the arcade, just everything was just, I don't know, man, it's just different.
The gallery downtown, man.
The gallery, gallery, man. You know, the sneakers, just the culture was just different, man. The way I looked up to the older cats around the way, you know what I'm saying, and you know they'll give you a couple $2 to go play at the arcade, you know what I'm saying. It just was a different time, man, and it was a beautiful time, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I mean, the cars, you know what I'm saying. Just everything.
88
man.
Maximus,
the 88, man.
Box joint.
The box
joint with the EQ with the equalizer in it.
Yeah. My man's
Exactly.
around the way. My boy around the way. He had the box Maxima wagon with a ski rack on top, tinted out. Yo, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just I don't know, man. That's just a beautiful time, man. I mean, Kel, you were outside. You were outside during these times, so you know a little bit better than me. But like, it was a beautiful time, man. Like for real.
And it's so funny, bro, because, you know, whenever I go home, I tell Nay all the trouble and all the shit we had to go through. And she's like, Daddy, I'm so sorry you had to grow up like that. I'm like, sorry, shit, this was amazing. Like, you know, you look back at it like, damn, I did almost get shot and I did get robbed and I did almost get shot again. But it's like, yo, I would not change growing up in my neighborhood for nothing. You know what I mean? And it's just so funny because from her innocence of growing up in the suburbs, it's like, you had to do that, or they tried to jump you, and you had to go home a different way, and but I'm like, yo, it was just, you know, again, innocence. You know what I mean? Innocence that, you know, we don't have anymore. I don't know if I told the story on here. I probably did because we've been around each other so long. Me, you know, we'd always bust on each other's moms back in the day. Your mom's so fat, your mom's so this. Because my mom would have jazz rehearsals, it was always dudes coming in and out the house. So one day my man was like, yeah, your mom a hoe, because she be having all them niggas coming in the crib. And I said something bad about his mom. I forgot what I said, but whatever I said, it stepped over another line of, you know, because normally he's like, your mom is so fatty, your mom is so dumb. Now you talking about niggas going to my mother's house. Like, now we getting personal. So now I got to get personal with you. I didn't realize his older brother, like, if I'm 12, his older brother, like, 19. You know what I mean? And hang with all the thug niggas. He told his brother, yo, for the next week, I was going home through alleyways. I was dipping and diving to get home. Everything. And then I got home. My grandmother used to stay with us. So one day I got home and my grandmother was like, you know, these guys came over to see you. They said, you know, they want to hang out with you, you know, and have a good time with you. So go by their house, you know, when they come home. The reason I'm telling this story is because the innocence of back then was, yo, this is man's grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna be rah-rah in front of her. Mm-hmm. Let me explain to you what the hood would be like now. Right. Niggas would have smacked my grandmother.
Yeah.
If niggas had beef with me, they would have smacked my grandmother and be like, tell that nigga to come see me now. Right. There's a level.
You'd have to kill one of them niggas.
You see what I mean? But that's where we're at now. Yep. Back then it was like, yo, this is grandmother, man. Like, yo, just tell them we come by later. You know what I mean? But again, there's just the innocence in 88 where you just don't step over a line. Like, you don't do that. You know, where now that wouldn't even be no second thought. It would be like, yo, fuck her. We don't care. And go in the crib and take some shit.
And think about the old lady around the way that can tell you that can get on you, that can kind of discipline you when you was coming up. You know what I'm saying? These kids now tell that lady shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It's just different, man. It's different.
Yeah. So I love your answer, bro. Just the innocence. And when you said the style, I'm just thinking back when you could go in and buy a pair of sneakers at the sneaker store. You ain't have to enter no raffle. You ain't have to get on no StockX and have to pay triple the damn prices. You just walked into a sneaker store, said, give me that in the size, whatever, and you left with them and prayed to God you didn't get robbed on the way home. But, you know, just simpler times. Rec, what about you? What's a dope memory from 88 for you?
88 is a blur, man. I moved from Queens to Jersey in 87. So 88 I was back and forth, man. So 88 for me was just really a year of stability. Music, new friends, you know what I'm saying? The thing I'll tell you is I remember the most is when I got to be around my uncles, because that was my line to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't met my brother until that summer. So going back to Queens and then my uncles, you know what I'm saying, back and forth between doing what they're doing, because they're 13 years older than me. So, you know, getting with them, getting in their cars, going wherever, and knowing that they're going to have something cranked that I'm going to be able to take back to Jersey and be like, yeah, I bet you ain't heard this. You know what I'm saying? There's it's just a time, like you said, you know, when you're young, you don't know what's out there, and that innocence, like every kid deserves to have that time of innocence. You know what I'm saying? No 10-year-old should be running around trying to sell nickel bags, you know what I'm saying, or outside of the street 3-4 in the morning. You know what I mean? It just was a different time, man. Like you knew you would be safe. The street light came on, you took your ass home. You know what I mean? If something was about to pop off in the park, you knew the niggas was gonna be like, hey, little nigga, take your ass the fuck home. It ain't safe out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just knew that was gonna happen. And in today's world, that's not the case. And it just, that part actually saddens me because I'm in high schools every day. And I see it. I absolutely see the difference between a 16-year-old when I was 16 and a 16-year-old in 2022. And it is not the fucking same at all.
That's real.
So for me,
that's real.
I'll just say 10 for me was like, that's when I picked up a basketball. My life absolutely started at 10. Pretty point blank. I found hip hop and I found the basketball. Besides my family, that's my life.
I feel you. JR, what about you? You was 2 years old, so what was going on?
Well, you know, my family knew that I was like, they knew music. That was me. Like, they knew as a kid, they was like, yeah, he loves music. So
they knew you was reincarnated from the 50s. So.
I think so.
JR's like, my favorite memory was going into the studio with Al Green.
the making them Let's Stay Together is actually my favorite memory, for being honest.
Because I was 2,
I was hanging out with Stevie. You know how it is.
You know, I brought Stevie some heroin to get him right before he did Ribbon in the Sky. So you know, I got him right, and then I went back in time with Marty and Doc, and then that's when, you know.
Jesus.
I hate y'all, man. But I could just recall my mom, my dad always playing Guy, Bobby, and Keith. And that used to play all the time, and it was never a problem. This was because there was arguments in the house. What was gonna play and what wasn't. You know what I mean? Because my mom again is the soulful head, and my dad was the hip hop head. So it was like it was a balance. So it was like anytime we would go out, we would go to like Long Island to see my family in Hempstead. It would be like, all right, what are we playing? And my dad would be like, well, yo, I want to play Strictly Business. And my mom like, well, no, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear this. So it was like them two will always battle. And I just will always remember my mom most likely would win. So we would hear just Guy, Bobby, and Keith. And at least it was a little hip hop swag to it. So my dad was, you know, he rocked with it. But when me and him would have our time, that's when I would hear Slick Rick, EPMD, and all that. That was kind of our time when he was like, all right, he listened to all this soul with them. I'm going to get him listen to hip hop. And like I said, when I heard, you know, Slick Rick, the Great Adventures of Slick Rick, and I heard The Moment I Feared, and I'm just like this. And my dad is like, all right, I'm getting him. Because I'm tired of all this R&B all the time. I want him to have a little hip hop. And he wasn't a talker like that, but when it was me and him and he would talk about, he was like, yo, this is Slick Rick. And I just remember those times. So that's what I remember at that time. So.
Hey, Kill, have you made an 88 mixtape, a 1988 mixtape?
Yes, I do. It's on the website. Same title. I'll send you the link to it, but it's what is it called? Set 'Em Straight for 88. The Kane line from that. So yeah, and then I got 89 one too. 89 the number, another summer mixtape. I'll send that out too. Dope show, man. And again, for people watching, I'm telling y'all, this was the foundation. You know, so many of these albums we have been waiting on for years. EPMD may have started dropping 12 inches in 86. You know what I mean? From Your Customer to It's My Thing. You know what I mean? To You Got to Chill, to Strictly Hip Hop. I mean, not Strictly Hip Hop, Strictly Business. So you're talking about 4 different singles before we even got the album. So 88 was like the final moment. It was like, you know, if you could compare it to trying to kick it to, you see the girl, you're trying to figure out what you're going to say to the girl, you get the girl number, now she's your girl. Like, that's where 88 was for so many of these albums. It's the 12 inches were bubbling up, the raw, the ain't no half stepping, it's bubbling up to give you this, the Rebel Without a Pause, Bring the Noise, Don't Believe the Hype is bubbling up to give you It Takes a Nation, Funky, and Give the Drummer Some, and all that's building up to give you Critical Beat Down. So that's why 88 to me is such the dopest year for hip hop, because it was so much was bubbling so long to give us so many of these incredible albums. So you got that. Question, real quick, JR. The new Mary album. What do you think of it? How many mics do you give it?
My first listen after we did the podcast last week, I didn't like it. Okay. I didn't like it. I was like, nah, yo, what's going on? Like, this is not it. But I woke up the next day, I went, got it in Target, played it in my car, and it sounded different. Like, that bass and all that was really different. Now, is it, oh my God, the best Mary? No. But I enjoy it. So if, like I said on my review, I give it between, with your mic, I would give it between a 3, 5, and a 4.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. I'm not. I listened to it. I wrote out to it with T, and I ain't gonna hold you. I was bored. You know what I mean? Some of the songs sounded like Beyonce throwaway songs, like that one with Khaled. You know, it just.
That song is horrible. That's
it just sounds like something that Beyonce turned down. When I hear Mary, it's funny when I heard it. I thought of you in the sense of Mary. It may just be time to tour. It may just be time.
You remember when it first came out? I was at
You was at the crib. Yeah.
And I was like, Mary, this shit is whack. Like,
she just sounds like somebody who doesn't know what to do anymore, which is understandable because she's been in the game 30 years. Yeah. So it's understandable. But I'm just listening to it. Outside that "Good Morning Gorgeous," I love that. I love that song. I think every woman needs to play that song every day of their life to just remember how incredible you are. I think she's got an anthem with that. But just nothing else really just hit me on it. It was just blah. Has anybody seen the new Fresh Prince joint?
Yeah, I love it. I'm about to watch it. A hater.
I hate her.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
I'm about to watch the next episode tonight.
I'm not gonna hold y'all. It's really good.
I thought it was gonna be bad, y'all, but it's good.
Bro, the casting is tremendous.
Yes.
And the curious thing though is what they did to Carlton's character.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of dig it. It reminds me of, I don't know if y'all used to watch Soul Food, the series.
Yeah.
When me and T first started watching it, we didn't like it because it was like, that ain't Lim and that ain't, you know what I mean? Like, that ain't Kenny. But then once you give it a minute, like the cast sets in and you're like, okay, you know, because you're looking at Nia Long as Bird. You ain't looking at Melinda Williams as Bird. Or you looking at Makai as Lim. Then I kind of feel the same way with this. I'm like, yo, I already have my Fresh Prince. I don't need this. But then I'm like, everybody was hitting me like, yo, the Philly slang is there. They be saying John and drawn and all the stuff we be saying. Yeah, and bull and everything. So I was like, all right, well, if people saying that, so, but I love it. I think it's really dope. And if I'm not mistaken, and prayerfully, the person who did it, because I remember this was floating around years ago, that somebody just shot a trailer for it themselves.
Yes, they did.
Like,
really?
So I'm hoping that they're still involved in it, or whether the idea was purchased from them, because it definitely was like a fan-made video of what it. It was a fan-made video.
It was no show. He just kind of made up. He
just made it like it's a trailer that it would be a show. And I think Will Smith saw it and caught on. So again, I prayerfully they've given that brother a chance to be part of it and watch it grow. Because I mean, I definitely could see this being incredibly dope. Porsche, real quick, what's everybody banging this week? Porsche, what you listening to?
What I was listening to all these 88 albums all week actually. What did I listen to that was more recent? RJ Payne's Beautiful Pain 4. Love it. And he's got another joint dropping. He's got one album coming out every month of the year. So RJ Payne, I mean, he's amazing.
All right. Vern, what about you? What you been listening to this week?
Moonchild.
Come on.
My baby Layla has a joint on there. My baby Alex Isley has a joint on there. Rhapsody's on there. Moonchild is just straight vibe chilling music, man.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're coming to Atlanta. I want to say in April. I need to. Only reason I might not go because it's a standing room only joint. I need to sit down.
I can't do them standing room only joints no more.
Yeah.
I damn sure ain't doing it with hip hop at the Howard because y'all already know that Benny show's like 17 opening acts. Like, nigga, I was ready to go home. Like, come on, y'all. This is now a punishment, making me stand up for 5 hours and the main nigga ain't even come out. Bro, what you listening to this week?
Looking through stuff I was listening to is kind of weird. I would listen to the Beat Nuts a lot. I saw something on the timeline, and it just made me go back and start listening to the Beat Nuts and the Alcoholics as well. I'm listening to them a lot. And then one of my favorites put out a new song, Alex Isley, and it's like she don't miss. She don't miss, bro. Every time she puts something out, it's fire. I mean, she don't miss, bro.
Man, hey, listen. Woo! I just sent JR something a couple of minutes ago.
Unfair.
I'm about to send it to you now, Real.
Send it to me too.
Yeah, man, that girl's sick, man.
DEI work. You can't just send it to 2 people. Like, DEI work here.
All right.
Black voices matter, diversity, equity, and whatever the I stands for. I teach it, and I don't even know what the I stands for. I'll just go with DEI. So there you go.
Maybe it stands for inclusivity.
Bam! There you go. Look at that portion. There you go. That's what it stands for. I'm a very good teacher at my job. Breck, what about you? What you listening to, man?
I'm banging some K Tronada. I wrote it down. Earth Gang, I've been listening to, and Alex Isley. I've heard some of her work before, but somebody sent me something earlier in the week, and I just started doing some homework, and I was like, "Damn!" So I've been banging her. She's been getting play all week in the mornings. On the way home, I need something else, but in the mornings, I need something to keep me right.
All right, JR, what about you?
I've been bumping Sam Henshaw. He's from the UK, and he got this album Untitled Soul, and it's dope. And it's like the musicianship crazy on there. Amber Mark with 3-part Dimensions. I've been bumping her, and then of course Mary's Good Morning Gorgeous.
All right, no doubt. And for me, JR has got me stuck on the Shandellas. I can't get Volcano Love out of my rotation. I literally can drive 40 minutes to work and listen to Volcano Love 40 minutes back and forth.
It's like 6 times, yo.
I love Push's new single, Diet Coke. I will literally just be at my office and I'll be like, Missy was the only misdemeanor. Like, I'm just screaming it out of nowhere.
I broke my no listening to singles rule for that single.
Yo.
And I love it. I love Pusha T so much. Like, he is just amazing.
Missy was our only misdemeanor. Like, yo, I literally want to sit down with him and just be like, yo, take me down the rabbit hole. You know, help me understand how you get to this place. Like, what makes you think of that? And then also this, if y'all haven't heard this, The Road Till His Casket Drops. This was a Clips mixtape that came out before their third album, Till the Casket Drops.
Oh, yeah.
The bars on here, yo, this nigga Malice said, I cut it just right, like when I parallel park. My hands in the white, like I'm on the parallel bars. The coke that I push is as pure as a child's heart. I don't understand where you cut it just right. So you're cutting the coke just right, like when you parallel park. Your hands in the white, like you're on the parallel bars like a goddamn gymnast. And the coke that you push is as pure as a child's heart?
Man.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And that's Malice. This ain't even Pusha. This is his older brother. Where does your mind have to go Are y'all high on coke when y'all write these rhymes? Like,
repeat the line again.
He said, I cut it just right, like when I parallel park. My hands in the white, like I'm on the parallel bars. The coke that I push is as pure as the chalk.
Yeah.
It's all over them. Yeah.
The coke that I push is as pure as a child's heart.
Yeah, that's
like these. I understand we're talking about cocaine. I understand, but where in your brain does it go to think about this stuff, man? And it's just amazing. I was listening to my best of Pusha T, and I'm just like, yo, how do you come? You ran off on the plug too, like True Boy.
So
you know what we do, boy?
Boy, man, listen. This morning I had a sales meeting to go to, hour and a half drive. I put on Popeyes.
Man!
Like that, Brian. I had that long time ago.
Yeah, butt naked on the balcony.
Yeah, on the balcony.
Pharrell know that headshot bitch from DC.
Ooh, let him know. Oh my God!
I put on.
And here's the wild part. My homegirl told me that's a true story too.
I believe it. Yeah,
that's a true story.
Yeah. I put on If You Know, You Know, and then I'm kind of like a big deal. And nigga,
oh my God. Khaled on the boards, man. It's sick.
Hey, yo,
talking about DJ Khaled.
Do you hear how he started off the joint with Ross? Never trust a chick that gets love in the camera. She will fuck you and turn around and fuck a janitor. I said, oh my
parameters. You either with the pro ballers or the amateurs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You gotta have me go back and listen to all this push shit.
I'm
gonna send you my best of push mixtape. I'm gonna send you my best of push mixtape.
What you call it? DEI?
Nah, I called it something to D boy.
Earlier you said what you call
DEI work. Yeah, I sent it to everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I
rocked it in the morning.
One other thing I was listening to, Kill, that you'll appreciate. I don't know how I got this. I listened to my old The Best of Dutch and Spade mixtape.
Only if you want it.
The Best of Dutch and Spade mixtape. Yeah, there you go. Right?
I got doubles of that somewhere in here, man. Them cats blessed me with some doubles long time ago. I still got them doubles, man.
Yeah. So push. That's what I'm just waiting for is this Pusha T album, man, because that joint is crazy.
It's over.
Round, let them know where they can get at you, good brother.
Yo, so JBen215 on Twitter. On Instagram, I had to change my joint, man, because
niggas kept jacking you, right?
Apparently, I'm important enough to make fake pages of. I don't know how. It's Uptown Rail 215 on the gram.
What's Twitter again, man?
JBen215.
JBen215. Okay.
Yeah, that's me. So yeah.
All right, where can you get at you, good brother?
Twitter is at DJRec1, all caps with the number 1. Instagram is lowercase DJRec, the number 1 and E. For the mix shows, you can go to Mix Show Radio. I think it's Mix Show Radio at Fleet DJs, and that'll tap you into the record, not the record, but the radio station. I'm on there every Wednesday, 9 in the morning. I got the foundation on that. I'm doing straight independent artists, or if you got some dope shit, send it my way. I'll go through it and get with you. And then I do K102, the Throwback Thursday mix, every Thursday at 7 at night. Quick craziness, man. Just the instrumentals for the album that we just dropped, where Anthony Cannon got picked up for a video game, man, a Rampage style video game. So you see me retweeting it, and you see my younger brother Chaden going stupid, man. The instrumentals got picked up. So it's a dope video game, and I'll put some more information out, but it's already out in the world. So things are just happening, man. It's going crazy, man. So I appreciate it.
That's dope. JR, what's good?
This the R&B Raps on Instagram, R&B Raps on Twitter. Catch that, which will be out, but it will be with Vern. And we did the Tony Sons of Soul album, which was a funny,
had a ball, yeah,
hilarious. So that's gonna be out. So yeah, check that out. And me and Elisa's got a lot coming, man. I'm just so excited on what's to come with the R&B rap. So yeah.
As outside opens up, y'all gonna be major, bro. Watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, Vern, let them know where they can get a house, man.
Yeah. At V the Lone Closer on Instagram and on Twitter, V Chandler 10.
All right, Porsche.
On Twitter at Cherchez La Porsche.
And y'all stop liking everything Porsche say just because y'all trying to get with her. Like y'all know y'all don't give a they know they don't give no good goddamn about no no critical beat down. But
I follow the right people. All my followers like
nigga, we follow the same goddamn people.
Listen,
and they don't say shit when I bring up critical beat down. They don't say nothing. But it's cool. We gonna do the K9 posse.
Yeah, do it.
Experiment.
783.
And then we here 783. Take your pick. And y'all already know it is with me. Kill 889. Will make beastfood.com. In the mortal words of Jay-Z, first of all, I'd like to thank my Connect. My sneaker plug loves me so goddamn much it doesn't make sense. So, like Jay said, I want to thank my Connect on that. I will check y'all next week, y'all.